Ladies and gentlemen, Valorant fans, welcome to the long-awaited Valorant Elite Series here, or Showdown, excuse me, presented by Community Gaming, partnering with Riot on this one. It's $25,000 on the line. It's some of the top teams both invited and making their way through the open quals. If you missed that last weekend, shame on you. Go back and look at all of the action that you could have missed out on. And here we go. We're finally ready to get underway. 4 days of action starting here today. My name is Tanner Metro, joined by Becky Bear, or Becky. And Becky, it doesn't get any better than this.
Oh, it really does not. Plan for a huge load of cash, a Riot partnered event, just really getting into it. We've got a huge array of teams, a lot of people who played in the qualifier last week, and we're going to get to see some great Valorant be played. And, you know, that's what we're all here to see. We're all here to see exactly how to watch these players just take advantage of how much they know about the game and, you know, just some good gameplay, some things that we can apply to our own gameplay as well. And I believe that these are invited teams. What do you think about some of these names that we're seeing? There's some big ones here.
Yes, we have 32 that made it from the open quals last weekend. We've got 32 of the teams invited as well. And I mean, you're seeing large names in large organizations here. NRG, Renegades. We've got some of the game changers coming on over as well, looking to get, I guess, reach out their hand for some of this prize money in Shopify Rebellion, TSM FTX, and Version X. And speaking of Version X, Version 1 also participating in this one, and alongside the TSM FTX gang, TSM Academy is also playing on through. That name at the top, though, stands out to me as you know, one of the most recent that comes to mind. I believe is also being caught on one of the 4 streams. But that being 24 Haven, I'm not too sure where they are headed, but they've packed their bags. They've called the movers, all that stuff. They found themselves a home. I'm so excited to hear that announcement once it finally does come through. But yeah, the teams don't stop. We're seeing it here, whether it be in these weeklies that we've been playing, whether it be in the contender circuit as well, Becky. A lot of these teams are very familiar faces to this scene.
Extremely familiar faces, and if they're not faces that you know from Valorant, you know a lot of these names from a lot of other esports areas. Cloud9, TSM, CLG, so on and so forth. You've seen these names, you know that these are real organizations and that these players can compete and to show us what they've got. Even more names here with Dignitas, Evil Geniuses, Immortals, Cloud9 again. We're just getting to see some really big names. That means that these teams have sent some of their best players to come compete in this and square up against some of these qualified teams that had to play a little bit last week and go mostly undefeated for the likes of most of these teams as well. Maybe these are some lower tier, not lower tier, obviously. Lower tier are all of us sitting at home who aren't playing on these established teams, but we're getting to see some of these teams that are out for blood against some of these bigger teams here. Some that you might recognize are things like Elysium, Flu Esports, Calretta, teams that are playing in a lot of these contender series and other tournaments around and taking home crowns as a result of it as well. Soccer White is a team that I got to watch even just yesterday in a tournament. So these are people who are out here playing a lot of tournaments, playing against a lot of really great Valorant players and trying to get those reps in for a tournament like this. $25,000 on the line. That's something worth playing for.
Yeah, and we're also seeing SpongeBob SquarePants, you know, getting in the mix there, that team at the top. I think what kind of stands out for these qualified teams, which is ultimately super cool to see, is that these are teams that if you're watching any of their progression throughout any of these weekly tournaments or even here qualifying for this one, they're teams that continue to qualify, that continue to make it to that next stage, whether it be in the 2-day weeklies or the gauntlets that we're seeing run. So it's names that have kind of made their home, just as I talked about 24 Haven find an actual home. They've also made their home in way of, you know, belonging in events like this. So super cool to see. That's the 64 teams that we have for this one. But unfortunately for this broadcast, wait, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I told myself I would do this because I have it pulled up. There's 4 streams. You guys luckily have found yourself here at B stream, best stream. That's just the way that it works. I don't make the rules, but that's just the way that it works. You guys found yourself here. You guys can also head over to Community Gaming NY or twitch.tv/Community Gaming NY. That's going to be our A stream. We've also got GL Gaming Lounges as our 3rd stream, and our 4th being twitch.tv/Bricero TV. So there's extra matchups that you guys can check out. Now, 64 teams. Unfortunately, we only get to catch 2 here, but it's 2 exciting teams, Becky, right? We've got TSM FTX X, their female roster, going head-to-head with Elysium.
Yeah, I'm actually so excited for this. I mean, for a lot of things that kind of go without saying, but TSM X has been playing together since about March for the majority of them. That's when they were signed as part of TSM. But now they are really starting to find like a roster that really fits them. They recently added Dodonut to their roster, even just like last month. But they've been playing together for a while before that, but officially a member now. And we've mentioned that we think that that is certainly a duelist player to watch for the side of TSMX. And for the side of Elysium, they're kind of a team that was a thing and then wasn't a thing, and now they're back. They're ready to square up again. They've only been together since about September, but again, I'm sure most of these players were playing together long before being an official team, and they did have a 6-0 record going into this to qualify for this event.
Yep, so one of the standout teams taking on a huge organization. This is a great way to kind of get yourself out there. As you guys are seeing on screen, no score just yet, but we do have the maps down below. This is where we are headed. Icebox to kick things off, Fracture to follow, and then Ascent should we need it. We just get the honest Valorant coming out of map number 3. But the most exciting thing, Becky, for both you and I, this will be our first time casting Fracture. It's a map that both teams have played. TSMX have played it a bit more. I think they've got 3 plays on it, so the comfortability is there. And I think that speaks so well, because outside of what you might be finding in scrims, every time I get Fracture in my competitive games, somebody's dodging, right? So I'm wondering where the comfortability is. If you don't have 3 officials, you only have the 1 official to TSM's 3, you know, Elysium, that would be a good map to pick up. But for Icebox, it's a really strong map for both of these teams.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for Fracture. Me and my webcam both cannot contain our excitement for this map to be on this roster. And it's going to be a guaranteed one. It's in that second slot. So that makes me so happy. We mentioned that we think Icebox can be one of those things that's a little bit solved. You mentioned that one of our teams kind of plays a sageless Icebox, which is something that you're becoming more and more a fan of since the recent Icebox changes. So it'll be really interesting to see exactly how that's going to play out. When Icebox was previously on past patches, a match or a map that we thought was kind of solved. And then if we do get to go into Ascent, that's kind of like a nice little, it's plain white bread. It's something that we've seen a lot of us have played, been around for a long time. It has some kind of interesting mainstays, something like a Sova, but then you can kind of play around with it in some other aspects. But for the most part, it also seems to be one of those maps that is relatively solved. You go something like a Sky, Astra, Sova. Well, your duelist of choice, but it's usually a Jet. And then maybe you have a flex slot in that last spot. But for the most part, that's going to be the teams that we're going to be seeing for something like Ascent. And Fracture is kind of just a complete wild card. So many of us, like you said, are trying to play this map and it just gets dodged on constantly. So it'll be really interesting to see exactly what agents get picked up, how their utility is relevant. And since these are pro players, we're going to be seeing how they've utilized those agents on this map in scrims, and probably be able to apply it to some of our own gameplay and maybe stop dodging Fracture.
Yeah, hopefully this helps people stop dodging Fracture kind of across the map so we can all learn it now that we don't have a dedicated Fracture queue. What I think is going to be interesting, I was on Twitter the other day kind of going back and forth and saw some extra thoughts on which of the Sentinels that we are going to see. Obviously, we have to wait before we get there, but the battle between the Cypher and the Killjoy, Fracture's a map that also allows for a lot of breach, but I think this is more important to talk about. We're looking to queue up Icebox here. We've got our agents select for you guys, and we've already got ourselves a KO locked in here. It's another Sageless comp. Both, I said one of these teams, Becky, it's both of them going Sageless.
I'm here for it. I'm ready. I love to see something like the Viper. I think Viper, just obviously with the smoke wall, is just so important on a map like Icebox. You just hold down that B site so well and are able to create such great pressure. So I think that kind of one of the mainstays, now that we're seeing Sage be pushed off, we're getting to see something like we're go for this Arena, which is an interesting double duelist with Nashi's Jet, as well as we're kind of seeing the KO is starting to be kind of like a Sky, is an initiator that is a wannabe duelist with the flashes. And so, especially with like the grenade as well, I like this pick of an initiator that can get information with the knife, but then can also play the role of a duelist when it comes down to it.
Yeah, and you get a bit more from the information ability, right? The Sky Flash, you toss it out, it lasts for a couple of seconds, and you get some information that, hey, somebody was blinded. It's the KO knife and the 0 point and the Sky Flash are the, I guess, the visual representation of there's one over there, that call out, which is the worst call out ever, but it does its job. I think what you get from the KO though is it's 8 seconds, right, of suppression, where you still have some flashes on top of that to play that out and see how that works. And I'm super excited for this. This is my first time seeing KO on the icebox outside of my 10-mans where I'm just goofing around. So we'll see how this plays out. But it's pistol round underway. It's the first round of our GSL groups. Winner moves on. You have to win 2 before you lose 2 if you want to stay here in this one. And early here on the attacking side for Elysium, they've got their eyes set on the A site. An alarm bot down just to cover that flank. A lot of real estate still to be had up towards Bell. Does that turret? There's a bit of chip damage. There's just the suppress that we were talking about as Nazi holds it down. Backside not going to be clear just yet. They're going to find the first. Maybe the next comes through. Nice little shot and dash. Link going to find the next. And for TSMX, it's looking pretty rough until Emily makes her way onto the scene. Now, Donut, we hyped her up at the beginning. Plus 37 in a 3-game series loss. And there's a couple of low HP targets, both still on the site. Needs to find the next. Nazi, unfortunately, not enough time to double take. And Elysium will grab the pistol.
Yeah, that was a little bit rough if you are Dodona there. We were like, if anybody can do it, it's definitely Dodona. And I think that still a player to watch, but Nazi just in a nice little spot, holding that angle and able to get a little bit of a jump there. Credits high for the side of Elysium here means that we are going for some Spectres, a Bulldog, and a Vandal there for Charisma at the bottom there. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what makes up this round. Usually this means that it will go the side of Elysium, but it'll be interesting to see how TSMX chooses to play as a response of it.
So I think the last time we saw Elysium, the team with the Sheriffs was the team that was winning. I didn't see any on the side of TSMX, but we had a really weird dichotomy, especially here on Icebox. We'll see if that stays true as we go 1 for 1 nice and early. As the Decay gonna fall. Nazi now taking the high ground. Donut unexpecting. Fort's gonna be backstabbed there as that wall comes down. It delays for a second, but how much more can they grab? It doesn't seem like a whole lot. The 3 HP Jet is a very welcoming target to find, especially here with the classics. There's a couple of right clicks into the damage. Okay, Cat. And it finds the next now in a 2v2. It doesn't seem doable, but the damage has been done. The bonus after this one is going to be hurting so much here in the health bar. They're just so low. Unfortunately, there's no weapons to be retrieved. This Charisma finally going to put that Vandal to good work. Find Cass and Athena now in a tough spot. Classic only. Again, low HP on 1. Close angles. The turret should find the first contact. There it is. The head gonna be spotted. There's the right click to find the frag. 6 HP and a dream. The spike needs to still be retrieved and still be planted. And that turret is still a problem.
Oh, I love that Athena took this moment to like hop down from back there. It was a little bit of a situation, obviously because of guns, but I like the decision to do a complete little bit of a backup with the spike still not being planted. Take that time that you need and just try to set it up to however you're comfortable. And as far as a pistol round for one team against almost full guns for another team, that didn't go too bad for TSMX.
No, they did damage. And when you look at it, sure, the Vandal was saved, but this is the round for Elysium where they should be bonusing. They should be bringing whatever they had in the last round into this next. And, well, it's nothing, right? They're going to have to force up these Sheriffs, so it's a lot weaker of a round here for Elysium because of how much they gave up there. And I love that you bring up that point, right? You need to reposition in that 1v1 situation. You don't want to be re-peeking from that same spot. Unfortunately, Charisma was ready for that one as the flash goes over the top. Nazi couldn't get spotted just yet, working towards those blades. Now they're online, and they're online here, only finding one. Emily is finally able to answer back. Again, damage dealt elsewhere. Charisma is my player to watch here for Elysium. Goes 2 for 1 here on the round. His health bars are low once more on the side of Elysium, but they have the player advantage. Emily to be a huge staple here for the squad in TSMX, and now not standing for long as Dodonut chips away at 10 HP. The snake might push her back. The spray down is there, but the round will go the way of Elysium.
Oh, I think Dodonut's gun ran out of bullets there. That little bit of stop fire able to give Thick just enough breathing room to take that one for the side of Elysium. A 3-0 lead now, and credits a little bit strapped for the side of TSMX. It's going to make this not exactly the ideal fourth round that you want to be seeing, but TSMX doing a good job of trying to just hold these angles when their guns are worse and try to play in a kind of slower style, just trying to make sure that the bigger guns don't get the jump on them, and hopefully they're able to do it how they did it in round 2.
And I don't want to say I called it, but it was the team with the sheriffs that eventually came out on top. I can't imagine that rings true for the rest of the game. Is this one already starting rough for the side of TSMX? Charisma doing a good job here on flank watch. So Donut. Oh, okay, never mind. Blue into the kill feed for 3. Evens things up, and the blades are still online. The spike planted. Cat has a bit of utility to work with here. 0 point available. Maybe reveals one. I'm not too sure. Sova is able to duck away from that one. Now the clock is ticking. The Empress is on. Here comes the recon bull trying to find some information. Cloudburst out to stop that information from being found. And the overdrive is on. The resurrection available. But what more can you get here? Obviously going for the res is a little scary. Faking that one is Dodona, but now has to pull the trigger. Needs to go for the frags and the defuse, but running out of time. Kairos on the swing. The execution out onto Kath. And it's Elysium for their 4th.
You gotta respect how patient Dodona was there, just trying to make sure if there is a moment where I can bait somebody out to peek me, I'm gonna take it, but if that's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. And I mean, good on Elysium also for continuing to play that in an extremely patient manner with that bomb ticking, waiting until Dodona is the one who has to make the first move and then reacting to exactly how she plays. That was a great display from both teams. Unfortunate that it just... And when you're in a 2v1 with one of your players trying to get a res, it's a little bit of a sticky situation, and it just didn't go the way of Dodona there.
Nice tag from Kairos. Now trying to find something extra on the back end, and there it is. Hunter Shuri picks up one. Last shot used to clear out that backside generator position, which is just going to allow Elysium to storm on through. Athena able to find one. Pass. Nazi. Nazi there to trade it back to make things still in favor of Elysium. Now by 2, but make it 1 as Dodonut online with the operator. Spike is down. Spike retrieved. And Charisma finds an axe sleeve and everything into the very welcome and very comfortable hands here for Dodonut. Once more, a highlighted player for this squad. Able to find the next. Now 2 more players to worry about. Charisma spotted out the classic shots. Just not going to land just yet. Dodonut, an absolute mad lad trying to take that fight. Eventually will fall. Elysium to find 5. And now this might be a good time for Chef Gordon Ramsay, the coach. I don't know if you guys caught that at the beginning in the coaching slot for TSM FTX, but maybe I thought, okay, there it is. There's the timeout. Okay, I was gonna say, this is a pretty good time for it. It was a slow simmer at the beginning. You lose a couple of rounds. Now you need to start cooking things up, and being 5 rounds down, this is a pretty scary place to be, especially on defense.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that this was a good spot to take a little bit of a timeout. I feel like something that I don't see in a lot of the games that I cast is players and teams taking moments to have a timeout, figure out, okay, we're losing. We've been close in a few ones. So what's happening in the rounds where we're close, the rounds where we're not close? What are we doing well? What aren't we doing well? And really just take this minute of a timeout to think critically about where they're succeeding and where they're falling short, because TSMX has been so close in some of these rounds, and they really just need to bridge that gap between those like 2v2 situations where they just somehow start to fall apart towards the end of these rounds. But this timeout is going to be very good for the side of TSMX, crossing our fingers there that we get a little bit of a bounce back with that timeout. Elysium, though, also getting a little bit of a moment to themselves. We'll see if that means that they decide to change it up from how they've been attacking very brazenly at each of these sites every single time, or if they choose to maybe be a little more patient at the start of this next round.
And that's tough. Yeah, out towards the B side, things are happening quick. TSM wanted to, I guess, hover that way, maybe play a bit more aggressive on that side and try and stack with the weaponry that they have. A nice dink from Leah Panda, though, able to Take Nazi down, 145 to the head. Never feels good in that shock dart, unfortunately. Gonna go wide for a second. The next one won't land either. Nazi stands. All 5 still alive for the side of Elysium. Just a reminder that this is a best of 3. Fracture is map 2. Ascent is map 3. And that's another headshot, that one, through the toxic screen. So at the very least, in rounds like this, the damage has been dealt. Now Athena can really only hope to find some extra damage here at the end. Playing off the back end of the turret. And I don't know if that first sheriff shot hit the turret, but somehow it didn't hit Charisma. It's another pistol round by the wayside, and it's Elysium for their 6.
Yeah, Elysium really starting to pull ahead. Momentum very strong, as we saw at the start of that round, just starting it off with 3 kills towards that B site. And that's got to feel a little bit bad if you're TSMX. It's one of those situations where you just gotta, okay, we had this moment of pause. We thought that we had a good plan. Maybe that wasn't the plan, and we can't let it get to us too hard. We have to keep the morale up. You got to really be just continuing to think critically, even if you thought you had a correct thought process. Sometimes you've got to go back to the drawing board a little bit. You can't always get things right on the first try, and maybe putting 3 people towards that B long site just wasn't the correct play, and we see them remedying that in this round.
Yeah, a lot of information garnered, though. If you look at that push out towards B long, Dodona just holding that flank back towards that B side. Now the lockdown should open things up, but here's the lockdown in response. Viper's Pit on the site, unfortunately, allows for free passage over the ropes. I mean, Nazi looking to get a little crazy. Emily gonna fall. The lockdown actually destroyed. Nobody detained on the attacker side. But it's Elysium, again, at the start of these rounds, just getting so much. And TSMX, unfortunately, haven't been able to get anything back. Now down to the last 2. It's been all Elysium in the last 7 rounds. I thought maybe we would see a save, but with this full loss bonus, you're feeling an extra bit spicy here. The weapon swap over to the Classic as Kath finds 3 on the round. Dodonut has the high ground at the Overwatch with that operator available. The 0 point goes through. Link's able to trade that kill back. Finds the next for a 3K on the round. And TSM, they just take too long to find that value. And in a 2v5, it wasn't enough.
And that's exactly what I was saying. It goes the way of Elysium at the start of the round, and then TSM has a good fight back. And they bring it to like an equal 2v2 situation. And then somehow it just like doesn't go well when they get into that 2v2 situation. And it's happened round after round here when they're so close to just like closing it out, but aren't quite able to do it. If we can just find a way for Dodona and Kath to really just find their rhythm together when they're the last 2 left alive, I think we'll be able to at least shore up getting to potentially a 4 to 8, which is usually what you're looking for when you're in a situation like this. Down some rounds, 7 points for the side of Elysium, 0 for TSMX, but potentially hoping to have a strong attacking side plan and try to steal a few rounds back here on defense.
Yeah, I would love to see. It looks like we've got a pause coming through. Maybe technical here in this one as we're stopped at that 10-second mark on the timer before this round starts. But I would love to see one of 2 things from TSMX, right? Because on the site, the Viper utility is used and Elysium are just pushing up and getting so much, right? And it seems like TSM are in this weird limbo stage of wanting to play retake but not fully getting off the site.
Yeah.
Or, you know, wanting to stay on that site and try and take these fights. I'd like to see maybe a bit more of the extreme versions of that. If you're going to play retake, just get all the way off and look to get back on it, right? Don't give up too much. In that round, it was 2 quick kills. Nazi went uncontested, pushing towards that back site, out towards screens, takes down the ultimate. Now there's nothing to worry about. And if you're going to go aggressive, again, let's see the extreme version of that and play even further forward, right? Take the fight right to Elysium versus trying to fight them out towards backside, because then you just have so much to worry about. So that is what I would like to see in terms of adjustments. I would also like to see, you know, Dodona and Kath, they've been working hand in hand, a great tandem duo in what they've been able to do, but maybe split them up across the maps. Obviously with this Jet KO, they've got some type of plan, but maybe one out towards A, one out towards B, and then you can kind of work like that in terms of with Athena holding mid, who has IGL'd before, I would imagine has a bit more of a voice on the team. And Kath out towards B, I would love to see just a bit more of a split there. So we'll see a technical pause, I'm assuming. I don't think we haven't gotten any confirmation on what this one actually is, but just give us the extremes, right? 7-0 at this point. Sure, you're on pistol, so it doesn't really matter at this point, but what more do you have to lose, right? Just go full send here.
Yeah, I like that idea. If we're already so far behind, we've got, like, if we're losing rounds, we might as well be trying to do some extreme things to see if extreme is what we need to be doing to really push back in this situation. So I like that thought process a lot. And I like that you mentioned that we do see kind of Kath and Dodona kind of always be stuck as the last two, and that's because they're always on the same site, but the site that's on the other side of the map, the other members get taken down as Elysium is pushing onto site, and then they kind of have to do a little bit of cleanup. And then it's just, I do think that they should be splitting up, doing a little bit of one on the other side. The other interesting thing to me is that Emily has been playing a lot of A site as this Viper, which I like kind of the split up, but it just is so hard for me to deny that that Viper is just so strong on B side that maybe if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe just continue to stay on that B side with that Viper and just continue to hold that down to the best of your ability. Maybe even just focus on having only one person on that B site and then leave the other two or even three on A site, one in mid, and just trying to do these extreme things and just trying to figure out where exactly your team is going wrong. And maybe one of those extreme things will be something that fixes it.
Yep, absolutely. As we jump on back into it, we had a player disconnect, unfortunately, but the action will resume as, again, it's two players out towards B, but an aggressive push from behind. Blades in hand as Dodona watching the flank. The turret is there, didn't spot her out, but Nazi did. Out towards mid, though. Kairos gonna find a nice frag onto Kath, who's trying to hold that position underneath Tube to stop anybody from rotating, but didn't really have the tools to do it. Now the drone inside the hut, gonna spot out the jet. The Blades, unfortunately, not going to land. And it's seemingly another round here for Elysium. Again, just an eco here from TSM, so not too much to write home about in way of this loss. It's Charisma getting heaps there. The two rotating out from A. I think the last one standing. A bit of damage done. Not a flawless round, but a near flawless for Elysium as they secure their 8th. Now we get weapons back in the hands of TSM. And this is where I would like to see something a little bit crazy. Donut is such an insane player. I haven't been able to pick up on, you know, what it is. I think it might be that 0 point early for Kath to get information. If nobody's getting tagged towards B, Donut is allowed to push. I would love to see an op back in the hands of the Jet. And like you said, play 4 players towards the opposite side of the map. 1 out towards mid, 3 out towards A. Donut is an anchor for this squad. And I mean that in the best way of that word. The best, I guess, term that one, or the best way that term can be used. She's so strong for this squad. And taken down early. That does not feel good as Thig able to use that dismiss to get away from the Hunter's Fury. Now with the Jet down, a player down, TSM once more on the back foot.
Yeah, now we're seeing this Viper on this B site, gonna keep holding it there as Kath goes down in the same spot that Dodona went down. That's gotta feel a little bit bad and a little bit like you're maybe stepping on some loose shoelaces there, but hopefully we can tie those up and get back into a running stride here for the side of TSM.
Swarm Grenade gonna keep Athena at bay for a second, sends out some shots. Now the turret gonna send some of its own. Emily gonna find a nice frag onto Nazi. Takes quite a bit of damage in response. Now Sageless are these comps, so where that health lands is where it stays. Recon bolt from Kairos. Not gonna find too much, but it doesn't matter. It's Kairos finding everything. Now Athena trying to find her way into the site. Finds one. Athena has been good for one. It seems like every time she's in an engagement, but one again is not enough when you're at this player disadvantage. That time a 3v5 and Elysium secure another round.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they call it a 9-3 curse, but it is certainly hard to start to fight back against 9 points, almost double digits for the side of Elysium. We're trying a bunch of different things here. Going to try this Viper again on the B site. 3 members now on this A site, and then the Killjoy remaining in mid. That's one of the things that we mentioned being something that we would like to see them doing, so it's great to see it come into fruition here. And the aggressive push from Dodona and Kath again, we'll see if it pays off this time.
And they just haven't been able to find that right read for TSM. It seems like Elysium always has that right read, and I think it might have been that Viper utility at the start of the round, letting Elysium know, hey, we're not going to get hit by this 0 point right off the rip. And well, speaking of 0 points, that's Kath falling, so won't be available this round as Nazi Picks up his third, quite possibly his fourth, with Leah Panda just around the corner. Link to deny the ace, but it's a flawless round no less. It's the double digits that just spoke about at the beginning of this round. Becky, again, it's another beckoning call for TSM. What has to change here? We can take a peek at their setup. This is ultimately really their last full buy round. They're gonna be able to buy into this one, but it's been buy, save, buy, save, buy, save, right? You've got Athena, who's bought down to 0 credits. So a really sticky spot to be in for this squad. Intended to is all they can hope for.
Yeah, but we're going to see the exact same setup here again with 3 on A, 1 in mid, and just Emily on this B site with this Viper is going to be facing down a lot of members, but a tactical retreat will be the play as everyone else from TSMX rushing to this B site to help out.
Here.
And so we're seeing what can be a really solid retake or post-plant positioning coming out from TSM. At the very least, Emily could deny for a second with the Viper utility, but they've yet to put that spike down. It's just the Viper's Pit use, and Lee gonna get caught out swinging from Snowman. Unfortunately, not expecting somebody up on top of the yellow box. Donut finally able to answer that player that was on top. Out towards Dangerous Cat inside the pit. 1 HP is plenty to find the frag, but 1 HP in a Nano Swarm will make quick work of your KO. So the robot is down, but so is the spike. This is 3 times for Elysium where they've had a player die and put that spike in a really sticky spot, but TSM have failed to punish. Now that lockdown should help out with the flank. Good for Athena. Picks up 1. Link is there to trade it back. The last 2 remaining are stuck in the corner. Do they know that 2 are there? No, Thig only expecting 1 will fall to the hands of Emily. Now it's Viper v Viper. The pit is there. Emily finally getting it done for TSM. The clutch is there. The round is found. And they've got to do it one more time.
Let's go. I was a little worried when they didn't, when Emily and Dodona didn't take that moment to both peek Thig there. I was a little bit scared that that was going to just be Thig's double kill right there, but ultimately very good that they were kind of both in this weird spot that you don't normally expect for 2 people to be in, and Thig was none the wiser, and it allows Emily to take that round down with Link being a little bit aggressive coming out of that Viper pit there. But also beautifully done by Nazi at the start of the round. If Obi-Wan Kenobi and Nazi have taught me anything, it is how important the high ground is.
Yes, absolutely. And now, if Valorant has taught me anything, it's how important an op in the hands of your Jet is. And Nazi has one of those. That first shot, not going to land. The Blade's also online as we've got another Viper's Pit out towards the A side. So Emily doing her darndest to hold it down this time around. Unfortunately, fell short. The last attempt, maybe gets it done here. 1 HP on Nazi, backs away. The shot won't land. The dagger's still available. Now looking to go back to it as the Hunter Shuri dodges out on Emily, and everybody unscathed on the side of TSM thus far.
Oh, this is a very forward Viper's Pit, trying to keep the members of Elysium at bay, and a very patient Dodona still waiting on the side of B, probably expecting for Elysium to kind of give up on this A site because of this Viper's Pit. A little too scary, the decay, not something that you want to mess with, and expecting them to change to this B site, but Elysium is holding strong here just outside of this Viper's Pit, waiting for this recon dart to come up.
And Leah just re-peeking right after being tagged there. That does not feel good. Kairos with heads-up shots. As this defender sided lockdown, hey, it's the last round of the half. Why not just send it here? It does deter Elysium from wanting to hit this A site for just a second, but with 25 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time to make a decision to swap over towards this B site. That's exactly where they're headed. It's a 1 HP Jet still for Nazi and Elysium, and it's TSM down a player. All they have to do, though, is delay the plant. That's the spike carrier down. Now Thig needs to try and pick that one up as it kills out towards mid. Charisma not able to find too much. 6 seconds on the clock. The plant to come on through. The spray through the box. It will land. The spike has fallen. And TSM have done it again. They string together two as Nazi, the 1 HP demon, will find another. But we swap sides, Becky. TSM with 2 in a row.
All right. This is where I'm really itching to see what TSM has in their back pocket. I'm hoping it is some insane plays. This is one of those maps where I feel like people hated it for so long, and then Breeze and Fracture came out and they were like, okay, fine, maybe we'll like Icebox, but only because we have to. And as a result, people have really strong kind of like attacking side plans for this map, but maybe don't always come prepared for defense. So I feel like we see a lot of teams really falter on the defensive side of Icebox as opposed to the attacking side. So I'm really hoping that that follows through true here for TSMX, and they have a strong attacking side plan, because they're going to need to pull it out now if they want to stay in this game.
A very important pistol round, which is, you know, Elysium did a good job staying away from Donut for a lot of that first half. Now they don't really have a choice. Donut going to be running right at him. Going to hop on top. Plants inside that tube, inside the cloudburst. Spike planted. Now it's the clock working against Elysium. But look at the damage dealt. Charisma did so much damage to the players of TSM as they were rotating through mid. It's a couple of body shots that's needed. You don't have to have this precision or this pinpoint accuracy from your Ghost or your headshot or your Sheriff, excuse me, as Thig does find that pinpoint accuracy. He's able to find the first. K-Ro's going to find the next, that being Dodo, who's taken dangerously low. Now too low to try and secure this round, and it's all up to Athena. The spike not planted for the Killjoy. It was only the one kill found for TSM as Elysium retake the site and reclaim their tally in the win column.
That's gotta feel a little bit bad to have had that spike planted, not exactly where a lot of the team maybe can, especially when you have something like a Viper and a Killjoy, trying to make sure that they are in a place where they can utilize their utility along with wherever the spike is planted is a very important thing, and hopefully that is something that TSMX can do better about in this round going forward. It seemed really strong at the start. They really got in, got it down, and then we're working on a defense. It just didn't really end up very well with those rotates, as you mentioned, the damage that was able to come through, and it just allows for kind of a little bit of a spray, a little bit of a right click, and you don't maybe have to have the most accuracy, but getting away with that is quite nice. But Nazi with some nasty shots taking down members of TSMX, but some nice little trades coming through as well.
Unfortunately, the rest of the squad doesn't just have those Sheriffs, right? It's K-Ros with that Spectre in hand. It's Athena to try and do it again in a 1v3, forced to reload. Just falls flat. So a small force from TSM as they got that spike planted. They should be able to have a decent buy coming into this one, but now it has to be 10 rounds in a row here. They have to match Elysium's attacking side in terms of round one, excuse me. And okay, it's actually a whole lot worse than I thought in terms of their buy.
Yeah, that does not, that doesn't look exactly how you want it to look on a match point. Any way you slice it, you want to be having full guns, full armor, not some deagles and some light armor. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and we've seen crazier things between you and I. So if there's anyone who can do it, we'll hope that they're able to get some lucky things. But that is quite the shock dart that took down one of TSMX just at the start, and now Athena and Emily are so far apart, and Athena's having to make a very tactical rejoin to have any hope of staying in this game.
And K-Ros showcased that shock dart to us during that contender circuit finals, picking up a kill earlier in that one. It's a double shock from Boiler to pick up the droning Sova out towards B. So heads up play there. Emily able to find one in response. Marshall in hand. Sheriff not going to be enough there as Elysium close us out 13-2, the scoreline here in this one. And that is a dominant way to take that first map.
Yeah, that is extremely dominant. He said it exactly correct. And Elysium's got to be feeling really good after that map. But you know what's really going to make people start to shake in their boots? Fracture. And Fracture was TSMX's pick. So if there's a way that they have a plan for Fracture, maybe they weren't the most prepared for Icebox. Maybe they're one of those people who don't really like Icebox. So maybe they just weren't as prepared for it as Elysium was. I mean, even the last time that we watched Elysium play, they played on Icebox. You mentioned we even just saw K-Rose with the exact same shock dart lineup. So obviously a team that is extremely prepared for Icebox. But as we mentioned, TSMX picked Fracture, and they actually have competitive wins on this map already. So if anyone is prepared with a plan the same way that we just saw Elysium prepared with a plan for Icebox, it's going to be TSMX with Fracture.
Yep, that it is. That's queued up here for map number 2. We're going to hop away and get that one ready for you guys. And we'll be right back after this short break.
Battling, oh, what a flash! Oh, Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Bowder Street. We're here having a Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Welcome back, Valorant fans. With one map down, we look ahead to map 2, that being Fracture. But before we get there, we've got a nice little recap of map 1 that Becky, quite honestly, although there were some cool classic plays, and I think Dodonut had a couple of cool shots, Athena on the board, this might just be an Elysium highlight reel.
Yeah, it was quite the, I don't want to say stomp, but it was pretty decisively towards the side of Elysium. But as you and I mentioned, we'd previously watched and cast an Elysium game together, and it was an Icebox game. They have a plan. They know what they're doing. Icebox is a map where they come, they're dedicated, they know exactly what they're gonna do, how a lot of other players react, as we saw with K Rose's shock dart, and it's just that's just how it is sometimes. But now we're potentially going to be able to see that from the side of TSMX as well, as TSMX has chosen Fracture for the second map, and along with it being their pick, they actually have competitive wins on this map as well.
Yep, they do. They've got some officials on it, so a bit more of that. You know, scrim bucks are nice, but you can't win the lottery with scrim bucks. The official bucks is what you need, and TSM have a few more official bucks than Elysium do on this map, and it's fairly new. We already talked about it. It's kind of hard to get one in your own solo queue games because people are dodging it so often. Nobody wants to learn new things, and well, we have to learn to be able to do that because this is just the beginning, right? 7 maps. Guys, it's going to be through the roof here. Very, very soon. And we're going to be looking to get underway here very soon. But before we jump into the action, I just want to remind everybody what we've got going on, right? With this VALORANT Elite Showdown, $25,000 on the line. It's 32 open qual teams that, qualified for this last weekend, and 32 invited teams to play here and this week. And everybody obviously trying their hand at getting this prize. And if you're unfamiliar with community gaming, this is the first time that they've been able to partner with Riot Games for an event like this, but they do so much more on the outside. Heaps of Valorant content between the Valorant Contenders circuit, that one being not only starting up again November 19th, it's on Fridays, but that one actually being the first to implement agent bans. They've also got the Valorant Training Grounds coming up this Saturday and next Saturday. It's a $1,000 tournament partnered by Facebook Gaming. And it's free to enter. So make sure you guys are checking out Community Gaming on Twitter for all the more information. As we get queued up, we get locked in. It's Fracture coming on through. And I saw Breach, which I know that this is a map where we get a whole lot of Breach. I saw Sky as well. I believe that on the side of Elysium. And I saw Killjoy. I was wondering which of the Sentinels that we were going to see. I didn't see what TSM locked in, unfortunately. But we get a Killjoy, which is easily countered by that Breach. So if TSM is rocking one of those, well, the Killjoy might not get a whole lot of value.
I'm already very excited to have seen what Elysium has locked in for this map. Again, totally was excited to see a Breach. Breach doesn't get a lot of love on a lot of other maps, so very cool to be seeing that. All right, and now we get to talk about some of the team compositions, and it looks like we have a mirror match. So if Elysium has a plan, they like certain agents. Turns out TSM likes those agents too. And again, as we mentioned, TSM with a little bit of reps on this map. I would trust exactly what agents they're picking. I personally like doing double sentinel on Fracture, but I know a lot of pros are kind of leaning in a different direction and doing something like the duo of the Sky and the Breach, as they kind of can double a little bit sentinel, a little bit duelist, do a little bit of everything. And so that is the direction that they've leaned here, as TSM starting us off strong, but some nice trades back there from Elysium.
We go back and forth in that kill feed as Link's able to find the next. It's Leah to trade that back, and Donut unhappy with the way the first game ended. Starts game 2 off strong, but it's Nazi still alive, and this jet player for Elysium was a problem for TSM. Gonna spot out the leg, but doesn't land the shot. It's Donut instead, and it's TSM to find themselves in the lead.
All right, a very strong first round. Some trades at the beginning, but ultimately going the way of TSMX. And that was the Donut that we were expecting to see in all of the previous rounds that we just watched. Beautiful to see it kind of come out, see some of those flicks, see that damage, see that entry that even TSM talks so highly about Donut with.
In the last round, although we're getting TSMX on the attacking side here to start things off, the last game we saw Nazi really just do whatever he wanted. There was no answer, so I'm wondering if this composition is going to be enough to keep this jet At base, Cath forced to use that toxic screen. It looks like Elysium want to go aggressive on it. Nice flash on the opposite side, but Cath goes huge with the Spectres. It was a 3v1. Well, technically not a 3v1. Leah Panda was right there, but nothing done to the side of TSM. The Classics, unfortunately, just not getting that work done. As this attacking side, I mean, it's all angles here. A couple players out towards B. You've got players out towards Dish as well. That being Emily, just on top of the drop down. Link about to be on the receiving end of a couple of these Blast X darts. We'll see if that is the case. Tries to back away. Nice fault line. Gonna keep that Viper at bay for a second. Forced to reload. Now it's damage, the name of the game, unfortunately. Elysium don't seem to be finding any here. Sheriff shots from Charisma. Gonna go wide, only finding just a bit of HP as the spike is planted. Elysium really have nothing to get done here except for send it. Classic in hand. Nazi will fall. Charisma the next to follow here as that guiding light finds the flash. No dash needed. A flawless round for TSMX. And that means, unlike what we saw in the first map, this bonus round is going to be pretty strong.
I absolutely love how TSM just played that round. Emily doing a great job of, or this is Kath, sorry, now on Viper.
Yeah.
Kath was on KL last round. Emily was on Viper last round. My mistake. But Kath there doing that smoke screen and kind of just like using it to get into a strange angle and then pulling a bunch of players in that direction with footsteps and then dropping the wall, taking people down. And then because of that, it drew the Killjoy as well as one of the other players towards that B side of the map, leaving A pretty open. And you just saw all of TSM just make a beeline for that A site. And it was just beautifully done, trying to get the members of Elysium to run a marathon to keep up with them.
Toxin screen down.
Same play isn't going to work this time, though, if you are Kath here.
Blocking sight.
Elysium a bit wiser to that one. Like you pointed out, right? You kind of play that off angle. You can go down underneath on the opposite side of that wall, and then across the site, it's completely cutting off that link area. It's cutting off that canteen area, that generator area. So we're seeing why that Viper gets the play that it does, especially here on Fracture. Viper's really been kind of a mainstay in just about every single map, it feels like, except for Haven and Ascent, really. Everything else, Viper's had plays a huge role in locking down the sites. Locking down the sites. Unfortunately, no lockdown available. The guiding light goes through. The turret going to be first to contact, and it's Thig actually to find the frag off of that contact. Unfortunately, guiding light just wasn't far enough into Canteen to find the flash. With 30 seconds on the clock, TSM, they don't have far to go out towards that A site should they want to rotate, but they need to make a decision. And Leah Panda having a hard time getting on the site. It's 28 HP. Only one bullet is needed, and it's a Link to find that one bullet. Now, Kath waiting for this Viper to push on through, and the time doesn't matter when you find the frags. It's TSMX to take their bonus.
Okay, I also now just want to highlight how much of a stark difference that was from the round before. This time, I think it was mostly actually because of Elysium kind of getting bit the first time. They're like once bitten, twice shy. So this time, we're not going to fall for this wall play that Kath is trying to do. And Elysium just played that round so far back. And I was a little bit worried at the start of it when TSMX was then going up against kind of a completely different playstyle from what we saw in the previous round, but they adapted and they were still able to take that round down as well.
And we keep seeing the same thing. I'm wondering how much TSMX are going to be relying on this wall, or really this Viper utilities. Path to be answered immediately by two members on the side of Elysium as they continue to creep through the underground. Athena's able to get one, and well, here comes the pinch and the backstab. Charisma, not long for this world as that regrowth can help top off the team. Charisma did eventually fall, and in a 3v2, Elysium only on pistols, maybe a couple of weapons to be found should they get themselves in the right position. But the B site stormed. Things kind of on the inverse. Nice aftershock and a delay for now. The reload comes through. Link survives.
But a lot of damage dealt.
Yeah, a lot of damage dealt, and by possibly enough to find some through these Radiant boxes. Fortunately, K-Rose finally answered. Link, 7 HP in a dream, is going to hear that spike going down. Guiding light, just sending the rounds, tries to swap weapons, and unfortunately too blind to make the play. It's the fourth for TSMX, and this is what's scaring me, right? It's TSM. They've been hitting this B site. That's where they're tossing this Viper wall. I'm wondering how dependent they are on that Viper utility here on this. You throw that wall out. What do they have, you know, looking to play out towards that A site? And that's going to be something that we see as time goes on and as this attacking side continues to develop. But for now, it's been working. 4 rounds in a row. We're going to have Elysium finally on their weapons again.
Yeah, and we're already getting to see TSM change it up a little bit here. Athena doing a little bit of a setup towards this mid area, and none of them pushing towards that B site. Gonna just try and storm A as fast as possible. Running into Nazi with this operator. We'll see if Nazi is able to create any commotion here.
We go flash for flash as Link falls to the hands of Donut. But there it is, Nazi hopping his way into the kill feed with that operator. So finding some value, forced it back deep away. Trailblazer, guiding lights all tossed out. The Jet stays alive, remains vigilant, still able to find a frag with that operator. Now a 4v4 situation, but Elysium have ults to match. We'll see where that lockdown goes. If it heads out towards this B site, that breach might be there to answer. Here come the Seekers as Kairos takes down Emily, but traded right back. So 1 for 1 is where we find ourselves. 2 for 2, I should say, on the round across the map. Nice nano swarm, gonna force Kath into a tough spot, and Charisma coming away with that frag. Now 6 rounds in the magazine, but the backstab is there. It's Thig pushing through the spawn. Now Athena has a whole lot to get done. But what does she have to work with? Fortunately, no breach, which means that lockdown will gain some value. She needs to find that spike, find the plant, or 3 kills, and only has 30 seconds to do it.
Yeah, and that spike is in a rough place, and you just know everyone is watching it. But a nice little swing there finds Charisma, but Nazi, as we mentioned at the start of that round with that operator, that long distance shot, watching, waiting, and snipe. Taking a round finally for the side of Elysium to bring us to 1 to 4.
Elysium pick one up. Damage, though, quite a bit of damage dealt from TSMX. Fortunately, the economy is still in a good spot for Elysium to be able to buy up into the next. It's really only Kairos and Charisma who are taking a bit of a hit in terms of armor. We'll see how much Charisma can get down to lockdown of his own. So we have lockdown for lockdown. 4 ults on the side of Elysium, 3 on the side TSMX. Some early aggression through the cloud burst. Gonna find one. The operator's there. Nazi able to dash away, take some damage, but a 2 for 0 thus far for Elysium. Now Dodona in a really tough spot. Really has no way out unless they assume she pushed away off the back end of a cloud burst. And with that, Elysium gonna head back. Gonna play their numbers advantage of 5v3 here across the map.
It does look like they believe that Dodona ran kind of back towards spawn away from the Fury there, but with Sky making some, throwing in some hawks, trying to get some information, we're finding a lot of members of Elysium still on this B site, but Emily and Dodona gonna try and make a little bit of a push here.
And a couple of times we've already seen it. Nice spray from Emily, though. Find one, looking to find the operator. Unfortunately, can't do it. Weapon swap comes through up close and personal, and it's Nazi with 3 on the round, 5 kills in the last 2 rounds to secure another for Elysium. And unfortunately, I completely lost my train of thought of what I was going to say just before all that happened. Nazi, darn it, man, I lost my point. Either way, Elysium now cutting that deficit in half, and this is scary, right? Because you have to be thinking, you put 4 in a row for TSMX, and now Elysium are getting you figured out. You really have to start to change things here.
Yeah, and change things, it looks like we will. Every time TSMX has tried to commit to this A site, something has pushed them away, but we'll see if that goes a little bit differently this time. Not the same ultimates that we saw previously, but the Tasmanian Tiger not going to be able to find anybody, not blazing any trails just yet, but Dodona with some Cloudburst is going to potentially make a quick dash onto this site following this Viper's Fit.
That's what I was going to say is the Viper's Pit comes through. Domain expansion from Kath, unfortunately, not going to amount to a whole lot. I think on the opposite side of things, going to toss down the lockdown, but a quick aftershock. To make quick. No, okay, it actually didn't stop the ult there. So maybe a safe place to be had as Rolling Thunder, lockdown comes through. Link undetected for now, will eventually fall, but Kairos finds one in response, and Charisma gonna hop their way into the feed. Now TSMX trying to storm their way onto the side through the pit, but Cap goes down, so does the Domain. Now with 2 remaining in a 2v4 situation. They've got the spike planted. But it's TSMX again on the back foot. It was looking good for a second, but it started to fall apart. Now the last one standing is only standing for a second, as Charisma will not allow it. To 3K to match that of Lynx, or Nazi's, excuse me, in the last round. And it's Elysium to 3.
Oh, that was so rough. Leah Panda, those shots were good. I don't know how you didn't kill him.
Yeah.
But now with that, 3 rounds taken by Elysium means that it is timeout time. TSMX doing a good job of using their timeouts allotted to them to, when they feel maybe like they're slipping a little bit, take a moment, stand back up, make sure those feet and legs are nice and sturdy beneath you. You mentioned that you think they kind of have to change it up. This A site push maybe didn't go exactly as planned. They've really only had a lot of success on B site. And if it's starting to figure like your B site is figured out and A push just isn't working out, where do you think the change needs to happen? Something change towards your B push, or really still try to commit to going towards A?
Yeah, you know, it's tough because the defense is just so strong on both sides because of what Link is able to do, right? You get that poison cloud up inside A main. It's a one-way, and I guess at the end of the day, you can wait for that utility to fall. It's really hard to attack on either side, especially when you have to play this game and you only have the Trailblazer and that Tasmanian Tiger to figure out where that op is, but you have to play that game, right? You have to figure out, okay, we're going blind somewhere because we're having to push through this one-way smoke or this one-way poison cloud or the toxic screen that is usually set up on the opposite side of the map. And if we do that, the operator could be here. So I think a lot of pressure and there's a lot of weight on the shoulders of just the Trailblazer alone from Emily. And I guess if you don't spot the op here, because everybody's been backing away from this one, Elysium, they've been ready for this, so no information garnered there. You have to be careful, right? Because you can't push up any further to get that Trailblazer any more information. So it's just a really tough spot to be in, and now it gets a whole lot tougher. At the start of the round, you lost a couple of players. Now storming the site, TSMX have been able to steal a couple of kills back, so we go 2 for 2, and both teams looking healthy here at this point. That spike needs to make its way onto the site. It does so safely, but Kairos might be here to deny. We've got Emily playing out towards rope, making sure nobody swings out this way. Kairos eventually to fall Cath, not only planting that spike, but also finding that frag, making the numbers in favor of TSMX. We'll see what Late can do here from this elevated position as Nazi finds one out from main. Emily, taking a couple of shots through the box, but not too much to find the frag just yet. And my point that I was going to make earlier is those guiding lights, they're just falling short. You take a look back at these replays and you're going to see you need to go a bit further with those. That one did land. The second one from Emily, and Link eventually hops down onto site to his death. But there's been 2 times out towards B where the guiding light didn't get any info because it was blocked by that wall bangable box by Canteen. And there's one time here on the A site where they tossed it out through the poison clouds and it gets no value and no information, but it's very deceiving because there's players almost directly, if not directly, on the site. So one look back and you're seeing, I need to put these guiding lights in a different spot to get more value. And that's 2 or 3 rounds that could have been picked up in TSMX's favor, you know, versus going the way of Elysium.
Better late than never if you're the side of TSMX, at least. And now with a little bit of a different kind of play compared to what we just saw. We are seeing that guiding light go through those double doors, try to get some information there, but nothing to be seen as members of TSMX are pushing at basically all 4 corners of this map.
Yeah, really holding it down as I believe that poison cloud missed, unfortunately. I think it was to block that tower position. Didn't do just that. Emily flirts with the idea of going through the doors. And Cath doing that same play with the wall. Gonna creep on the opposite side of the alt orb. Able to take down that alarm bot. Still unaware of where Nazi is playing, and it's just around the corner. Nazi does it again. They have to find a way to stop this jet. That operator has been so huge, and it could quite possibly be Dodonut. There it is. Op v op. Dodonut comes out on top. Nice rolling thunder. Gonna get the stuns on the site, but no real push on the back end. No, I spoke too soon, but Kairos and Charisma lockdown defense. Now it's all up to Athena again in a 1vx situation. This one in a 1v3. The Nanoswarm at her feet, that to be popped. 15 seconds here on the clock, and the play has to be made. The spike has to be planted. Able to find the first. Charisma falls. Now Link just around the corner. Maybe look to plant this one safe. The Trailblazer comes through. The snake bite is on top. The shots through the box, and the round to Elysium.
Oh, that was so... That's in a 1v3, you never, it's hard to know what exactly to do, and when you have 10 seconds left to plant the bomb, you only have so many options. Correct things being done for the side of Athena, just an unfortunate 1v3 situation. Nice to have been at least in a place where she was able to pick up a really nice unsuspecting kill onto Charisma there, at least at the start of that, kind of shoring it up. If maybe only 5 more seconds had been on the clock, that probably could have turned a lot more in Athena's favor. But TSM still in the lead by 1 round. Ooh. Some concussion happening onto Nazi and some damage going out as well. Oh, but the aggressive push through double doors from Elysium is taking down TSMX.
Last player standing.
Yeah, only one remaining, that one being Dodonut. Has the op in hand, able to run down Nazi. Guiding Light, gonna find the flash. The angle just too clear for Charisma. And that was a pistol round. I think the scariest thing about all of this, though, is Elysium have tied us up. It was 4 in a row for TSMX. Now we're tied 5-5. And it's starting to come down to the wire in a lot of these rounds. I think we're seeing a little bit of communication kind of going by the wayside, especially in terms of that Rolling Thunder we saw around previous, where Kairos and Charisma, they go unanswered for just a little too long, and that stun wears off. So again, I would like to see the extremes. If you're TSMX, just, full send. Once you have a call, that ult is out, you just go hard off the back end, and I think that's where they're going to find or continue to find value here on Fracture. As once more, it's that stance across the map, not giving up too much. There's so many ways really to flank on this map, or so many opportunities to flank. I should say so many ways, because there's really only a handful, but so much opportunity to flank on this map. And we're seeing TSMX start these rounds kind of wearing the clock down, just making sure that nobody is pushing. And we saw that kind of bite them in the butt, where Athena's stuck in a 1v3 with 15 seconds left. So again, kind of just pulling the trigger, making these plays, trusting what you've got going on. Unfortunately, get trust on Emily here in this round. She's fallen. Athena next to go down. Nice cloud burst, gonna stop the guiding light. Sig still looking to play aggressive out towards the spawn, able to answer for another frag. The Seekers on top of it all, gonna reveal the 2 remaining for TSMX. And Charisma stalking, prowling here on the backstab, just around the corner, and they have absolutely no idea. Fault line goes through. Charisma gonna miss the timing on one, able to find the spike though. Now Cat has a lot to get done, but how much to do it? A 1v4 now. Phantom in hand, Charisma. Oh no, the high ground doesn't matter this time around. It was the backstab all along for Charisma, and it's Elysium to claim the lead.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit heartbreaking when Charisma takes a book out of a page out of Kath's book and hides in the cover of that smoke screen to catch them off from behind there. I would love to see Dodonut being really kind of aggressive. I feel like they played that round really passively because they just lost a round where Elysium was really aggressive through those double doors, and were just a little too scared of getting aggressed on too early in a round, and therefore kind of going back to that slower play that also bit them in the butt earlier. But we'll see if now is just the time that they completely do a 180, pull out some really aggressive plays, because the round that they won back was a round where Dodonut just went completely ham, just went really aggressive, was able to find those frags, and just really guide in for the side of TSMX.
And TSM last round of the half, trying to find something, but early in the round again, they lose. Just a bit too much. Seekers from Emily can reveal a couple of positions. Now in a tough spot. Finch, as she wants to drop onto the side. There's the Rolling Thunder. That's going to slow the push from the sky for now. But you can't stop Dodonut. Yes, you can. If you're Charisma, it only takes a couple of shots from the Phantom. Finding another. Leaving it into the hands of Emily here, who was stuck up towards drop all along. And it's Elysium. They lose the first 4, and they battle back for a 7-5 half.
Yeah, that's one of those punishing decisions that you can make on this map. Having one person end up towards that little bit of a drop on this A site and then just getting a little bit stuck off from the rest of the team in a kind of strange vision place where people can see you from that defensive door as well, and just not really being able to get a whole lot done aside from the information, but the information that wasn't followed up with the kills as soon as it was dished out just kind of let Elysium play back a little too hard there, and it's 7 points to 5 for favor of Elysium now.
And that there seemed, again, just another moment where TSMX not fully on the same page in terms of the timing, where Emily seemed okay to go, tosses out the Seekers, but the rest of the squad just a bit too slow on the push, and they just really allowed for Emily to just get cordoned off for the entirety of the last half of that round until she was the last one standing. Now they're going to be the ones doing the cordoning here on the defensive side of things. Nice flash point. Athena just staring at the wall, completely blinded. They try and flash in response, but nothing to be found off the back end. A right click from Leah Panda, able to find one, but it's a 1-for-3 trade as that spike has fallen, should be retrieved and planted here shortly. The rest of the members here, Kath and Emily for TSMX, rotate through that attacker side and spawn. Only one remains now as Thig goes down. Nazi still alive. The classic demon here, and Kath tries to get something done. We saw what she could do with it on Icebox and the KO. Unfortunately, not a whole lot here as Elysium secure the pistol.
After the previous pistol rounds that we saw TSMX take down, I was feeling a little more excited for this pistol round to start going back in the favor of TSMX, but how that kind of went makes me a little bit concerned that the mental is off for TSMX being ahead and then starting to fall back again, and even after the timeout still not being able to get that momentum back makes me a little bit concerned that they're probably not doing the best job of communicating, as you mentioned, and that you're playing good, you kind of get a little more quiet or maybe get too loud even, and that can really affect the communication for the rest of your team. Kath, unfortunately, going down really fast at the start of that round, but TSMX trying to do a full push to take down whatever remaining members haven't made it onto that pushed B site, and that's going to go well for them as they're able to take down Nazi here.
Toxins going up.
Yeah, the strength in numbers here in the eco round pays off for one. Unfortunately, that one is a sheriff wielder, so no real weapon to be taken away as Charisma gonna force up to a Phantom here in this round, and we'll get the value out of it as that spike's planted. TSMX not only working against the stronger arsenal from Elysium, but also this clock, and that spike taking down as Link just continues to hold down left click, and Charisma is there to clean up the scraps. A 9th to Elysium, an anti-eco. Unfortunately for TSMX, this time they weren't able to do a whole lot of damage. So when you take a peek at that bonus, Nazi being the only member that died is feeling comfortable forcing up into this one.
Some nice shots. It's always so strange to me when you see a Viper Cloud that just has like a little bit of spot for you to peek through. And I have to wonder if they do that on purpose. At this level of play, I have to believe that Link would do that on purpose. It's just a section of the cloud where you kind of get to catch somebody as they're trying to like walk around it. And that's exactly what Link did there, and really shored up just that push that TSMX was trying to make onto that B site for the retake.
And we take a peek at these Viper walls here from this attacking side in Elysium. Completely cuts off ropes. Completely cuts off that spawn A-Link area. Emily able to find Nazi. Not too sure how many she's expecting to be playing that drop-down position, though. But for now, Thig will back away. Quite possibly look to go right back to it. Flashpoint. Ooh, and a guiding light. Gonna keep the attack at bay. Charisma wanted to get aggressive. Unfortunately, the blinds were just too strong there, and a nice fault line to follow up. And Elysium kept where they stand for now. Thig has reclaimed his position, or reassumed his position, I should say. Up towards drop. Flashpoint comes through. Kath on the site. The only one on the site eventually will fall. K-Rose to secure that frag. Now up top here on the side is where that spike to be planted. It's wall bangable, but K-Rose feeling safe with this team behind him. And here comes that retake. But again, it's that toxic screen they're going to have to push through. They want to go out towards ropes. They want to go out towards main. Link here with the backstab. Charisma is there as well. And down to the last two here. So Donut and Athena need to work in tandem. Not necessarily split across the map. One out towards the Link here in this spawn. One out towards drop. That's Link to fall. That's Sig to follow. Now in a 2v2. But so much time chipped away. And K-Rose, he's been in the most dangerous position this whole time. But he's gone unspotted. Now they know that the spike is up top. And Athena there to trade the frag. Charisma there to do the same. And TSMX, again, they've got the right play. They've got the right call. They just do not have the manpower nor the time to make it.
Yeah, TSMX doing a great job there, almost working out. It's just so unfortunate that that little bit, this first peak for that 2v2 worked great, and then evened it out to a 2v2 from a 4v2. And then going into that final one, just Donut going a little bit too far, and then K-Rose being a little bit elusive, just making it a little too difficult for them to be able to take that one back in their favor. But that one was close, and you have to keep that kind of close, almost there mentality and try to bring it into these further rounds. But Thig is just being a monster and pushing on with Nazi to this site in their spawn, trying to just find members of TSMX.
One enemy remaining.
Guiding Light's going to be traded out. Now Emily, the last one standing. A flawless round for Elysium to strip away the pistols of TSMX. And in that previous round, that's one of those moments with K-Rose where anybody in their right mind is saying, there's no way that there's somebody there. That is the most vulnerable spot. Like, only people in solo queue play that position, and they get sprayed through the wall. So for K-Rose to do that right there, the mind games, that's super tough for TSMX to lose that round. Obviously, the next one to follow is just pistol, so it kind of goes the same way. What's the scariest thing about, you know, these losses coming through and the deficit that TSMX are finding themselves in is they're not able to do a whole lot of damage. So even if they start to string together a couple of rounds, Elysium have the economy behind it in terms of both weapons and in terms of the ults available. We see that Viper's towards the safe site, but a lockdown should be able to, you know, obviously push this Viper into a bad spot off of that lockdown. Now Thig gonna play off the Seekers here. Lockdown, I mean, it's in a weird spot, but still able to find the frag. Should be able to back away. The Viper's pit should be falling unless you can get back in time. Either way, the spike planted here on the A site, and it's TSMX finally in a position. They're pushing forward as Link goes down. Only two remain, and the Seeker's going to reveal that position. One out towards drop, one on the side. Nazi trying to battle it out. Finds two. Needs to get the Nexus. Charisma still duking it out. The HP is low. Charisma falls now in a 1v2. It's Nazi. Blades in hand going for the clutch. But it's Leah Panda with the classic to get it done, and it's TSMX finally here in the second half on the board.
Nazi's heart racing a million miles an hour, trying to pull out those knives as quickly as possible and just throw them, isn't able to find the kills. A fast-paced round here between Elysium and TSMX. TSMX finally getting a round back into their favor to bring them to 6 to Elysium's 11. Whew. That's what we need to be seeing from the side of TSMX. Just a lot of aggression, the big use of utility. Obviously, that Viper ultimate was huge for the side of TSMX, but it'll be great if we can see this Breach and Killjoy ultimates be used to the exact same caliber of power.
The lockdown, a big one. Stig on the swing, not expecting 3. Donut is there to trade, and well, with knives of her own, she's able to find another one. So a 2-for-1 trade as we go Rolling Thunder for Rolling Thunder up towards heaven. It's K-Rose, a thorn in the side, taking down Athena. Nazi can answer for another one. So this B site now assumed here for Elysium in a 3v2 situation. Cat slowly creeping up, could have the backstab, could have the most important kill here in this round as that Viper's pit goes down. It doesn't completely lock down the site, but all of the entryways for TSMX to get there, because they don't have a player out towards tree or out towards this spawn, they're gonna have to try and push through the pit here as Link goes through on the opposite side out towards Generator. It's K-Rose to take down the imposter, and Cat still going to work, but needs to do a lot more. Is that aftershock available? No, it's the fault line. It's the stun. It's Cat, the last alive, and it's K-Rose for 3 on the round. 3K for 3K for 3K is what Elysium keep finding for themselves, as now they are on match and series point.
Match point is not where you want to see your opponents if you're the side of TSMX. Light buys going into this round, credits a little bit thin here, and a lot of uphill battling to do if they want to stay in this game. But we do see we see a Phantom for Kath, as well as the Bulldog here for Emily. So we'll see if with those two having a bit of forefront power and potentially just trying to keep those guns in the hands of the rest of TSMX should they fall, we'll hopefully be able to go okay.
Yeah, Elysium, I mean, they're just playing with so much confidence. You see the way that they're just running around. You see the positioning that they're just taking away. Leah Panda, though, able to steal something back low on HP as a dash onto the side of Athena, looking to play backstab. As we've seen previously, the romping and stomping on the side. Speaking of backstabs, Kairos is there. Leah Panda is able to bail Athena out. And now not only is that the spike, but it's a weapon retrieved. A 3v2 in favor of TSMX. A 3v1, Nazi needs to go clutch again. This time doesn't have the knives to do it. Kath undetected for now. The other two players out towards that arcade position surely have been noted, but there it is, the unexpected. Viper waiting in the bush will strike. Nazi will fall and TSMX will hang on.
Yeah, the announcer didn't say it, but as far as TSMX was concerned, that was a pretty light buy round, especially at this point in the game. So for that to go the side of TSMX has to feel pretty good for them. But even still, even after that win, we see a Guardian, not a full gun for Dodona, as well as this light armor for Kath. So that's going to be a little bit rough and potentially affect this game. And that's just not the point where you want to be affected by credits when your opponent is on match point.
And I talked about the confidence of Elysium kind of just running in there willy-nilly, and well, they're punished for it, so I imagine we see them slow things down just a bit here in this round. Again, we take stock of that utility usage, and it's the Viper walled out towards A, both blocking ropes and the Link. TSM going aggressive themselves. They're taking full advantage. Now they're starting to read Elysium. And we'll see if it's a bit too late to do it. 5 more rounds is what they need, and this is a good start here to find 1 of 5. It's completely split across the map. 3 on the top side, 2 on the bottom side as Kairos able to steal back 1 here out towards the A side. Now looking to plan a little different of an area as Link gets the spray down onto 2, swings the numbers back in favor of Elysium, but only for a moment as Leopan is still alive. Kairos queuing up the ultimate, gonna find the stuns. Look how sky high they will go. But most importantly, time bot. We've seen TSMX fall victim to the clock. Will they do it again? Aftershock gonna look to push Kairos away. Nice flashpoint, gonna find 1, but doesn't spot on Emily, pushing out underneath the site. The spray transfer will go wide, and it's TSMX to hang on again.
And hang on they will, but credits still will have to be a little light for the side of TSMX. I just hope that it's going to be enough for them to buy and hope to hold on for another round. Right now, they are that motivational poster of the little cat gripping to the tree branch. Please just hang in there. Bulldog for the buy on Dodona has got to be just a little bit rough. Guardian last round, Bulldog this round, slowly getting worse and worse guns on the player who is supposed to be just out there fragging out and being the aggressor that you need her to be. Leah Panda, though, keeping it very, very good at the top of this leaderboard and with some impressive last few rounds. So we'll see if she's able to keep it up as well.
There goes the Bulldog. There goes Leah. Your top frag, one of your star players down. Kath can get one traded back, though. So a bit of damage control, damage mitigation, I should say, because they are still down a player. The regrowth comes through. Pops off the low HP player. That, I believe, being in Kath as Athena falls. The last 2 players spotted. Lockdown queued up. Now it's TSMX. I mean, in a really tough spot. It's Emily the last one standing. A couple of body shots with the knives is all it will take. As Nazi closes us out with a nice little 3K, 13-8 the score line, but overall a 2-0 for Elysium.
That's at least this game we got to see some back and forth. We got to really see exactly where TSMX is trying to shine with their players, how they're using their utility. They know what they're doing. Elysium just came prepared for that first map, especially did have a plan for this one, as we saw with that mirror match. Obviously, both of these teams have played this map before and had some plans, came ready, and just I was so excited to finally be able to watch Fracture and love seeing what some of these teams brought to the field as far as strategy and kind of utility usage going into it as well.
Yeah, I think we got a lot out of Elysium. I was asking the questions for TSMX and where they were in terms of, you know, using that Viper's utility and usually trying to end up on that side of the map. Whereas Elysium, they were able to play that back and forth. We saw that same Viper wall going out basically from spawn, blocking off ropes. You actually see it here in the replay. But blocking off ropes, blocking off that A-link area, and then it kind of allows you to make that crunch or that pinch from drop and from A main. But there were times where that wall would go up and they would still find their way on over towards that B site. I think one thing, kind of what you talked about previously, is you said you liked the double sentinel idea on this map. I'm not fully against that either. I think with the flank potential that we have here on Fracture, the Cypher maybe gets a bit more value because you can fire and forget. And then if you've got your tripwires in a decent position, you're not worried about rotating over towards the opposite side of the map and you're able to hold some of those flanks. So I would like to see, obviously it's a meta that's still developing, and we're at a point where both of these teams are on the same page, right? It wasn't necessarily that Elysium came with a different comp and it just worked better. They just came with a different game plan, and ultimately that worked better as they take this one 2-0. And I have failed you guys. I apologize. I should have brought us into the show talking a little bit about, I guess, what's going on in terms of, you know, wins and losses and how the tournament plays out and what we should be looking for the next 4 days. But we're doing GSL groups, right? You got to win 2 before you lose 2. I know I mentioned that on Icebox, but that was quite some time ago. So for TSMX, they're not done just yet. They have to hop down to that lower bracket, and they're going to try their hand as making that lower bracket run. And for Elysium, they're going to be moving on forward, and I'm not too sure. I know BBG was on the other side of this bracket, so quite possibly looking to play that in the upper bracket. And should they win there, whoever wins in this one moving forward, they will be secured their spot for the round of 32. But for now, that does things for this first series. We have another one queued up for you guys. I'm not too sure where we are headed, but I will let you know as soon as we get back, guys. I'm going to hop away for a short break. When we come back, some more Valorant action here, the Valorant Elite Showdown.
Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Bowder Street. We're here having a Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes. Oh, what a flash! Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Ballard Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes. Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Ballard Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Battling, oh, what a flash! Oh!
Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Ballard Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Battling, oh, what a flash! Oh!
Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Ballard Street. We're here having a Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you should totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Battling. Oh, what a flash! Oh!
Bit longer of a break as we had to get round 2 underway, but we're coming right back at you, and we're staying put right here in our bracket. We're following along with Elysium. We're going to be taking on Built by Gamers. My name is still Tanner Metro. I'm still joined by Becky or Becky Bear, and we just got to see a whole lot of Elysium. Now we get to see how much they can get done against this BBG squad.
Yeah, we did just watch Elysium take 2 pretty dominant games against TSMX, going 13-2 on the first map and then 13-8 on the second map, which was Fracture. Getting to see a little bit of a spicy map there. The first map was Icebox, something that we've all seen, we're all kind of whatever about, but finally getting to see, at least for me, Fracture in competitive play was extremely exciting. It was an intense match, but ultimately Elysium were the ones to take it down there. Both also some very interesting picks from the side of TSM, at least on the Icebox map. Didn't end up going the way of TSM though. Nope. Some pretty standard build for Icebox for Elysium, but getting to see exactly what they brought to Fracture, getting to see some Breach, some Killjoy, as well as Sky, and just ultimately getting to see this new kind of meta being blazed for this map as we're starting to see it in competitive was really fascinating. And yeah, bringing us to here now against a BBG.
Yep, that they do. And I mean, you said it. Our first matchup really kind of delivered in way of maps, agents, right? We saw the KO coming out, Kath piloting the KO on Icebox, and then we move over and we get to see Fracture map 2. Unfortunately, Built by Gamers banned away Fracture, so we won't be seeing that one, but we will, however, be seeing that Icebox right back on the table for Elysium. That could be map number 1, Split to be map number 2, that being the choice of BBG. And then should we need it again, map 3 is going to be that Honest Ascent, and BBG just coming off of their own 2-0 victory. Their series a little bit closer, is kind of the same, 13-3 on Ascent, but then 13-11 on Icebox. And this BBG roster is one that's been kind of going through these trials and tribulations, trying to see what works and what doesn't. Poach was their IGL for a while, then Poach was out for a bit. They had Critical and Trill playing for the roster. Now Critical and Trill have since gone elsewhere, and Poach is back in. They're also trialing Bang, who was previously TSM. So this roster, it's powered up quite a bit. It is very scary to see that they go 13-11 against Team Wreckaroo on Icebox, and now they have to play Elysium on Icebox, who look really good. They're also, Elysium are one of the teams that are running that Sageless composition. That's what we got in the last one. And I didn't actually take a peek. I'm going to look now and see exactly what Built by Gamers were running on this one. And they're also shying away from that Sage, excuse me. They're rocking that Killjoy, but instead of the Reyna, like we are seeing Thig piloting the Reyna for Elysium, it's actually going to be Bang on that Raze, which is kind of I guess the two halves of the coin that you really get on Icebox, right? If you're not running the Reyna and you're running double duelist, typically you're running that Raze.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of at that point just depends on whatever your duelist player's more comfortable on. I know some duelist players really hate Reyna. They just don't think that Reyna has a lot of utility that actually impacts the map. So it isn't as important to have something like the Reyna, because if you just get taken out, you're not really able to impact the game in different ways, the same way that like Raze can. Sometimes if you like maybe don't have a gun, you still have all this utility that's extremely useful, and you can just throw some grenades out. You've got this giant bomb as your ultimate. Getting to get up into higher levels and really interact with the map also just makes Raze a little more desirable at points. So I think I kind of like the direction of Raze a little bit more than Reyna as far as Icebox go. That being said, we did watch Elysium have an extremely dominating performance with that Reyna on Icebox. So I don't really know exactly which way I'm going to be faltering as to whose decisions as far as team composition and results I am vying for. Gonna just wait and see how it shapes up. But other than those two duelist picks, we might be seeing pretty much the same team comp, and maybe we'll get to see K-Rose take advantage of that really cool shock dart again too.
Yeah, that's something. BBG, they're just kind of coming out of their games. I think they played a little bit longer, so maybe they don't have I guess all of the footage, right? They weren't able to take a peek back at the replays as we get to take a peek at some of our invited teams making their way on into the event. One player that I really want to highlight, or I guess a couple of players, because we're fresh off of, we got a little bit of recency bias for Elysium. Nazi. Very strong. Yeah. I think where TSMX kind of failed in was trying to stop Nazi, or not being able to slow this jet down. So BBG definitely need to be coming in with a game plan for that one. And then Charisma. Charisma was the player that I highlighted in my head-to-head specifically in that first matchup. It was Donut for TSMX. It was Charisma for Elysium. And Charisma really showed up in the best way possible. He's kind of the Killjoy player, also plays the Viper, but is also their IGL, their second IGL when it comes to the defensive calls overall. And I think it just bodes so well, right? Because you're playing that Killjoy and you're able to make these calls almost basically around you, right? If you're, a top fragger for the team, he was getting multi-kill after multi-kill. Wasn't necessarily the 3Ks like we were seeing from Nazi. He was a bit flashier with it, going for some cool stuff, the stuff that Jet can do. But when we jump on over to that Killjoy making those defensive calls, you're not having to figure out how to place that utility or where your Killjoy can play, because you are that Killjoy. So super cool to see that Charisma has had the success that he has had, and Elysium obviously cool to see them as well to have that success. But it seems like we're having some issues getting into this lobby. We're waiting on one player, and I think we're still waiting on that one player. Maybe not. I'm getting the whispers in my ear. We might be ready to get underway, but again, this is a really tough map for BBG. Okay, never mind, guys. I wanted to keep going. I wanted to just string this on as long as I can. You know we love the podcast here on these broadcasts. Unfortunately, we don't get to, guys. We're going to figure out what's going on with this one player that cannot get in the lobby. And once we have that, we're going to be jumping on into the action. We'll see you guys after this short break.
Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Bowder Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Battling, oh, what a flash! Oh,
Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Bowder Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes. Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Ballard Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it, and have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Battling. Oh, what a flash! Oh!
And we're looking to jump right back into it. Some technical difficulties, but we've got all 10 in the lobby, and we're looking to queue up Icebox. Just a reminder, I'm still Tanner Metro. I'm still joined by Becky, and we are taking a peek here at Build by Gamers and Elysium. Both teams winning their initial matchup in round 1 for this GSL format. Now we're here in round 2. The winner of this will qualify into the round of 32 to play further on in the tournament, which I guess technically is playoffs, Becky.
Oh, yeah, indeed it is. And Elysium here locking in pretty much the exact same team comp that we saw them play previously when we cast, but we are seeing BBG also decide to pick up the exact same agents. So mirror match incoming, deciding not to go with the Raze that they had played in their previous game that we didn't get to watch, but maybe that Raze just was like one of the reasons that they maybe had a little more struggle in that second game. That second game for BBG was pretty close. I believe you mentioned 13-11 for them to take that one. So maybe the Raze just wasn't the pick, and gonna go with the Reyna this time. Take a page out of Thick's book.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So Bang, stat-wise, top of the team for ACS, 252 in that last matchup on the Raze, went 21, 16, and 3, 30% headshot percentage, which, all things considered, that's pretty darn good. So what I'm thinking happened is they're like, hey, how are you feeling, Bang? Do you want to run back that Raze? And he's like, I feel like I can fulfill the role or the duties of the Reyna, which is kind of being that individual and just looking to go ham and, shoot heads 30% of the time. So I think maybe we get a different look in what BBG bring to the table here. Like we stated, 13-11, so a close affair against Team Wreckaroo, but Elysium bring a lot more to the table in terms of firepower here on this map, especially starting on this attacking side, which is exactly what we saw, the same start as we saw against TSMX. It was a push out towards A, all 5, and Bang, Poach, both ready for it. Unfortunately, I shouldn't say ready for it. They're both waiting for it. They just weren't ready for it. It's 2 quick kills, swing the way of Elysium, and it's BBG now on the back foot. A bit of delay thanks to the utility here, but that spike should be planted here shortly.
Yeah, spike gonna go down from K-Rose. Trying to keep off all the people trying to stop K-Rose from making that plant, and Nazi going for that high ground again and is a little rewarded there as K-Rose trying to follow up with a similar play.
Yeah, Bjorn, now the last one is standing here for BBG. Too little HP to stay alive. Nazi able to close that one out, and we see some of the, I guess, the offset in taking this A site that we have now that we're running Sageless comps, or some of these teams are running Sageless comps, where K-Rose wants to get that spike down. Sure, he was delayed by the snake bite for just a moment, but his pistol round, you only had 1. Then he starts to look to push up forward onto that site, and you don't have that wall anymore to block back sight. So now you have 2 avenues of approach, and I think it was Nazi actually holding the angle. Fortunately, you didn't have 2 players swing, but now you have to worry about that high-low. So I am starting to see a little bit of that weakness that can be this attacking side and trying to plant A for Elysium, or just on Icebox in general. It's a nice recon bolt, going to reveal the squad for BBG, and they know Elysium want to hit this A site once more.
Yeah, Owl Drone from K-Rose trying to find a little bit of information, does find Poach and allow Nazi to make that aggressive push onto this site, posturing up in the middle of that too, but gets taken down with a nice shot from Bang there, but the bomb is down, and now we get to fight on a different access for this retake. BBG up 3 members to the 2 left for Elysium. One left for Elysium. Excuse me, Bang.
Toxin screen
Yeah,
down.
Bang with the 3K here. Reyna doing Reyna things. Now has a Spectre in hand. The weapon's retrieved. Link still alive, but only for a moment, as Bjor will take him down. The defuse will be handed over to Bjor as well. We're gonna stack up that Viper's Pit, but a thrifty round win for BBG. I mean, that completely throws the economy through a loop here.
Oh, extremely. And guns picked up for the side of BBG. So I think this will be a little bit of a just hold on to these Spectres, see what Elysium is going to bring to this gunfight, and then probably just be ready to buy up next round the members of BBG that didn't have guns that they picked up off of the cold dead bodies of Elysium members will be buying this round. But then that extra credits from Bjor and Will should be put to good use in the round coming after, depending on how this one shakes up.
This round surely should swing the way of BBG, and you know, based off of what they keep into this, they should be able to bonus into the next, which means that economy, like you pointed out, the extra credits, I mean, it's just extra on top of it all. It's a couple of cherries and extra icing on the cake as a nice early kill coming on through. Ooh, okay, Will gets spotted trying to creep on forward, but nice duo work there as Bjor is there to trade that kill. Shock Dart's not going to get too much done. Stig takes down Bang. The Reynas and the Sheriffs, I mean, name a better duo than in this game thus far. As Poach still playing in the one and done. And now Link, the last one standing. How much util does he have to work with? The Sheriff in hand, tries to fan the hammer, but it's Poach for 3, and it's BBG to 2.
Oh, BBG doing a great job now that some better than pistols are in their hands. Really showing just exactly how they can hold these kind of strange angles. We saw one of the members on the sofa for BBG kind of hold that strange high angle there, really making sure to get that extra information, as well as just have this strange off angle to be able to hit members of Elysium as they try to funnel in to this A site. So nicely done for the side of BBG, learning from that first pistol round. Even though Elysium in a pistol round, not giving up that much information, they've kind of tried to do the same exact push in these next 2 rounds. And BBG has been able to read it and take it and use it to their advantage.
And we saw at the beginning of this round, the mask was on, so is the Viper's Pit. This one going over the top of Pike, the Hunter Shuri from Kairos. Trying to find Bjor, just sending that out. Unfortunately, not going to get too much, but Will does as Nazi falls, the operator coming online. I said they were going to bonus into this one for BBG, but they buy into this one quite heavy. The operator invested in, well, already a bit of return on that investment as Charisma creeps too far to range for that alarm bot. The rest of the team is A-okay for now. Alarm bot just on his right, and I'm sure he can hear it. Needs to try and take the shots. The alarm bot rings. The rotation's now coming on over. They know that Elysium want to hit this B site, and they've got the firepower to match as well as the numbers advantage as Bang gonna be the first to contact. Now we'll drone out for information. Poison Cloud going up, and Will falls down. Now we're even. Stevens. No, it's BBG to steal back a couple more. A 3v2 is Stig. Gonna hop into the kill feed, taking down Bang, winning out the performance there. I'd be interested to see how these Reynas go toe-to-toe at the end of this matchup. Nano Swarm gonna force Link away. A snake bite on top of it as well, so that double damage just enough to keep Elysium at bay as Poach has retrieved the operator, has found a frag with it, and now Link at the very least can hope for damage, can hope for extra credits. Thanks to the spike plant. Now some extra kills. Spure goes down. Rarkar, believe, finds his first on the round, or his first on the game in way of frags, as BBG will find another.
BBG doing a great job here on this defensive side. Elysium finally starting to like switch it up and really go for a different kind of attacking strategy, but ultimately still not enough, kind of falling into the clutches of BBG here. Doing a great job on this defensive side. Rarkar and Will kind of sitting at the bottom of this board, but Will with this operator is going to continue to do and try to catch out some of those top fragging members of Elysium like he did this last round.
And that round started with that Viper's Pit and the blind Hunter's Fury. Kairos just trying to get lucky, trying to find something, and unfortunately comes up empty-handed, meaning they have to ship their sights over towards that B site. And while it was on lockdown, Poach showing his proficiency with the operator as well, as Bang to find the first. And we talked about win conditions for Elysium. Oh no, Rarkar tagged in the foot there. Fortunately, to be A-okay. Poach will find another. It's Elysium slowly getting chipped away at. Bang gonna take down Fig, so we're back and forth on the Reynas as Poach out towards mid, gonna catch the lurking Charisma. Now Kairos, not long for this world, just around the corner is a flawless round for BBG, and this one didn't start off. No, I think it did. I think Nazi was actually the first death on that round for Elysium, and that was the win condition, right? That's what TSM failed to do, was to stop that jet. And, well, early in this one, BBG have done that pretty handedly.
The crosshair placement that is happening for the side of BBG, every single corner that they turn around, they're just waiting and ready and really getting the jump on these Elysium members as we see them taking a little bit of a timeout, called here by K-Rose, trying to, 1 to 4, trying to figure out where we're going wrong, or really reassess this attacking side plan. Since we did just watch Elysium play this map as well, and also have a very quick showing on the attacking side, I kind of expected to see more from them going into this map, but it's one of those things where maybe this strategy that they initially had maybe isn't the best strategy against the side of BBG. It doesn't work the same way that it was working against TSMX. So taking this moment, recalibrate, reassess, figure out what about our previous plan isn't working, and try to move forward here. We do see some pings mostly coming out from the defense side on this A side. Not really a lot of pings, so Elysium not giving us a lot of hints as to exactly what their plan is, but we do see a lot of them posturing towards this A side, and a lot of pings from BBG kind of symboling that maybe they can sniff out a little bit of Elysium's plan already.
Yeah, it looks like the plan is forward aggression. Will gonna hold this angle, make sure nobody pushes into A for free. Fortunately, the Owl drone will spot him out, but Bang is there to trade it out to Smith to get away. Nazi, the first one to fall once more, as Will misses on the shot, forced to use that tailwind to get away. Now with the lockdown coming on through, should make for free passage onto the site. No, Bang will find another, so 2 for 2 is where we find ourselves. Bang will find 3, and Rarkar is there to stop the reign of terror that Kairos was putting on this A site. But it only leaves Thig, the last one standing, and it's Rarkar to do it again. A 2K for the Killjoy. And again, looking back at that last series, it was Elysium just allowed to do whatever they wanted. Obviously, Nazi dying immediately, that feels terrible. We already talked about that win condition. But when we were talking about what TSMX needed to do, it was you have to go on the extreme. You need to either play full retake, or you need to just go aggressive right off the rip, and that's exactly what BBG are doing. They're not allowing Elysium to even push up to this pipes without taking a fight first. So I absolutely love this from BBG. It's keeping this Elysium team at bay, and now they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board. You see it here. It's basically a 5-point stance across the map, and they've completely changed their setup here, wanting to push a bit more out towards mid. Oh, what a shot.
Yeah. Ooh. Indeed, Nazi continuing to go down first. Usually you want that duelist to go down first, but with how we've seen Nazi play, we do not want to see him going down that fast. Thing having to make a quick rotation, takes a shot to the foot with that operator, but does manage to get off of that A site. Not unscathed, certainly scathed, but trying to get as much information, keep as many of the members of BBG towards this A site as possible. Gonna try and hold this angle to see if anybody goes for a little bit of a lurk as the rest of the team is going towards this B site. But B site stands for Bang!
Yeah, the B site is Bang's site. Another 3K for the Reyna. Poach on the swing, able to find Thig. Now, it wasn't a round that Elysium were really looking to win. They had a Guardian, some Sheriffs, and it was tough pickings at the start of that one in terms of economy, but they should be able to bring it back here in the next. So we take a peek off the top of the head there. The knives online as well. It's insult to injury. You don't want Nazi to die first. You especially don't want him to die on your eco round where he's got that Blade Storm online. And Elysium have already taken their time out, and now they're struggling to get their feet underneath them. But fortunately, they have a bye coming into this round. And the leash for Bang, it's the longest leash. It's infinite. There is no stop. It's one of those ones that just keeps going, where it has the button that you can click to stop and lock it, but the button is broken. It doesn't work. Bang is just able to do whatever he wants. He's got full freedom here for BBG. I mean, damn, does it look good on him.
You mentioned at the start of this match, the reason that you would pick up the Reyna is because you're feeling yourself. You're planning to get those headshots. You're planning to be getting those frags. And Bang is not disappointing, is certainly doing that at every step. But this round, so is the rest of BBG, just making sure that they take it down. Everyone, K-Rose, nowhere to turn without running into a member of BBG. And the defuse is going to be good for the 7th point towards BBG.
Yeah, this is a tough spot to be in. I think the one, I guess, ray of hope that you have is K-Rose has that Hunter's Fury, which at the very least will stop the lockdown that could kind of slow down some of this Elysium momentum. I like the push out towards mid in previous rounds. I think they maybe could have got a bit more as well, right? When you're pushing down tube, sure, Bang can dismiss away, but there's not a whole lot of ground to dismiss towards or away from when you're stuck in that tube. Sure, you can get deep into kitchen and you have that little bit of a head glitch, but if we saw that same approach from Elysium out towards mid, maybe Bang gets punished, right? 2 players pushing up towards tube, and maybe that Reyna doesn't get out for free. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and now we do see that same look. I don't think the buy is great though, as Nazi just on the opposite side. Okay, he's able to take that one down. Nanoswarm going to slow things down for a second. Another Nanoswarm to follow and Link. Down a tough spot. They've already mounted their position out towards the B side. It's Bang to find the first, but Nazi there to trade it back out towards yellow. It's not cleared. They're trying to play on the opposite side of default, which makes it easier because it's not wall bangable, but Bang is still here. We said it in the last. It's the Empress online. Who can dethrone Bang here? As he sits atop his throne, it's the Sheriff to do it this time. Doesn't even need the rifle. As Bjor hops into the kill feed, Poach getting a piece of that pie as well. It's another defuse and another round for BBG.
Holy smokes, just this, even though it does not even feel like we are 8-1 in this game, the speed of this game is so intense, and it's one of those things where BBG is just continuing to like push up regardless of being on this defensive side. They don't need to play super defensive. They're playing an aggressive defense, and it is working for them so far, especially with Bang top of this leaderboard, 10 kills above anyone else on the team. An extremely oppressive showing from Bang, and really putting the chokehold on Elysium here, trying to figure out exactly what they can do to get onto the site, get this bomb down, and find some way to keep themselves into this game.
The way back into this one, nice start there. Gonna force Will back, keep Bang at bay so they can't play aggressive. They're gonna get up the pipes, not for free though. Bang goes for the repeat. Here comes Hunter's Fury. This one from the defense. They try and trade him back, but Bang picks up 2. Eventually will fall. K-Rose able to secure that frag as Will find another. Charisma goes down, and it's all up to K-Rose, who found the first, now needs to find the rest. An ace is what it would take here from the Elysium Sova to get it done in this round and put them on the board for 2. But every angle, he's just corralled here out towards the site. We'll find Bjor healthy in this 1v3, has the time, has the spike. Again, needs the wherewithal and needs to be the hero here for Elysium.
Oh, but getting caught out by that turret, revealing some of your location, taking a little bit of damage there is not how you want to be in this 1v3, but K-Rose trying to keep his cool, trying to figure out exactly where I can run around all the members of BBG, but being run around also means a little bit of running into some of this Killjoy utility, and doing a great job with that 3K, but ultimately not going to be enough. K-Rose trying to keep Elysium in this.
In our car, actually living up the name of the Killjoy, because K-Rose had his eyes set on that ace, found 3 kills in that round, 2 of which was when he was the last one alive. But a nice bit of utility and just enough time for Rarkar to react to the alarm bot going off, flick over to that Nanoswarm as K-Rose found that kill onto Poach. It was just too much for the Sova. Now 9-1 the scoreline, 11-1 still on the table here for BBG, but the buy comes on through for Elysium. We'll see what damage they can get done. An early frag on to Bang would be absolutely huge, but nobody's been able to do that except for Charisma. So a great start to get back into this for Elysium and work their way up towards that 9-3 curse.
That is absolutely huge if you were BBG to take down Bang there, and Charisma kind of continuing to hold this angle, being like, there's no way that you would let Bang push that alone. Somebody else has to be here to go for the trade. I'm going to continue to kind of hold back and wait, see if I can catch anybody out, as the rest of my team now has the bomb down on A site.
And Nazi spots out a bit. Unfortunately, not able to convert there. Lockdown could be used from the defense of BBG. So Rarkar again trying to be a killjoy for the squad and finds some kills himself as Kairos looks to hop his way out towards heaven. Tries to go aggressive off the back end of the KJ utility. And eventually meets his fate running right into Poach. Now in a 3v2. The util on the side. Is that going to be enough? Link will fall. Charisma still alive as a hero to take down Bang. Now needs to be a hero to take down the rest of the squad through the cloud burst, but he falls off belt. Needs to reposition. Is it going to be enough? It is not, as Will hold the angle, Poach will hold the defuse, and BBG to double digits.
Oh, if there was a round that Elysium was going to take down, it was going to be that one with Charisma. That early frag onto Bang, it really was looking up for them. They got that bomb down. They were relatively healthy on agents, but it just ended up not going the way. It makes me kind of wish that Charisma maybe had gotten that kill onto Bang and been like, cool, top frag down. I'm going to go rejoin my team and try to help them really secure this site. It was a situation where potentially some of that killjoy utility could have been used towards the spike and been something to just delay the amount of time that people can spend defusing by using that utility, and just ended up being a little bit of a heartbreaker there.
It literally needed one stray round to hit the leg of Will to make it a 1v1, and then Poach was, stuck using that spike. Now an early drone gonna force Will off the side. The rest of BBG going to follow here. No, they're not. Bang is actually the one holding it down. I wasn't paying attention to who we were peeking at, but it's another 3K for the Reyna going undetected. Nobody expected him to put a leash on himself. He slows things down. He backs up out towards the site, plays that generator position, and now looks for an ace of his own. The Empress is on. Link is there to dethrone, to abdicate Bang of his throne. But it doesn't matter. It's 11-1 at the half. It's Elysium letting this one slip away. They didn't have the ball in their hands at all from the get-go. It's been all BBG, 11 rounds in a row after that pistol round. And I mean, Bang doing his best Nazi impression, just being an absolute menace here on Icebox.
Such a menace. And we talk highly of K-Rose as well. Very good on the Sova, has really interesting lineups, is very good at getting that information for the side of the team. But that Sova is not something that you want to be seeing at the top of this board. Nazi and Charisma, who we've also talked very highly about, are not really sitting at towards the top of this board where you want to be seeing them. But hopefully we have a little bit of time here and they'll be able to turn it around. But after seeing how aggressively BBG played that defensive side, I am shaking in my boots as to what they can bring to the attacking side.
There's literally nothing stopping Bang here from just running at you, finding you, and fragging out. Although Link looks to stop Poach. Can't do it early into this round, so Poach will bag one. As Charisma takes down the imposter, scoots away, gonna Scooby-Doo his way on out of danger for now. Half HP, trades him back, but Poach is there again to find the frags to keep his teammate alive in Will. And now the site assumed here by BBG. Bang gonna get that spike down, working towards that Empress nice and early, and low with low HP. Sheriff can definitely get some work done here. Nazi gonna do that for the first. Now Nazi and Thig, the duelists for Elysium, need to find the next three. A defuse also gonna be found as well. Stig, the last one standing, finds a headshot onto one, able to get the heal off. From the headshot onto Bjor, leaves him low HP, but needs to find Bang. And that's a 1v1 that nobody wants to take here in the server. He hops on the spike for a second. Bang is there to check to make sure that he's not on it. And it's Bang with yet another multi-kill, creeping closer to 30 kills on the lobby. I think that's his 28th. Yep, there it is. 28 and 8.
Absolutely insane. Double Poach's kills, and Poach is almost double Rarkar's kills. So the kill separation on this side of BBG is absolutely insane, and kind of just goes to show exactly how impressive of a game BBG is playing. Now on match point, Elysium's only round is the very first pistol round, and they just have not been able to keep with it since then.
Yeah, it's tough. map point for BBG, and they would just look to take this one quick. Not a whole lot thrown into this one in terms of the planning. A whole lot thrown in terms of the weaponry, though. A Phantom, a Vandal, a Bulldog, a couple of Spectres. Just bang the tip of the spear here for the squad out towards the B site. The tap on the spike to try and buy out some utilities. Will gonna find the first, make the second. Pure and bang as well. It's B squared to cut it down to 1 for BBG to close this out. Charisma pushes through the snake bite, but does not stay alive. 13-1. The scoreline as BBG closes out on Icebox, and that was very uncharacteristic of Elysium.
Yeah, I mean, I said it during Agent Select. I really wasn't sure exactly which of these teams I felt really strongly towards. Elysium is a team that I've seen a lot of. Yeah. BBG, know some of the names, and I expected it to be a little bit more back and forth, especially after how we watched Elysium play on Icebox in the previous round. And that kind of just goes to show that even if you think you know how a certain game is going to go, anything can really happen. You could all of a sudden have Bang for the side of BBG, who just gets a casual 30 kills in 14 rounds and really just dominating for the side of BBG. And I feel like I have whiplash after that game with how fast it went.
Yeah, that was a very quick game, a very dominant victory from BBG. And, you know, Valorant is a really funny game from team to team to team. It's a really funny game of rock, paper, scissors, where this team beats this team. It doesn't necessarily mean, you know, this team is going to beat that team. Just like we saw, Elysium really strong on this one, especially against the playstyle of TSMX, but not so strong against the playstyle of BBG. And BBG, they were playing rock, paper, scissors, showstopper, that showstopper being Bang. So they're throwing their own Valorant twist on their rock, paper, scissors, their Rochambeau, and it looked completely unfair. Now we move on over to their map pick, that being split. But before we get there, we need to rest and refit and get that one set up. So we're going to hop away for a short break, and we'll catch you guys on the other side.
Battling. Oh, what a flash! Oh!
Hey guys, it's Billy from Community Gaming. We're here at OSNYC, located on Chinatown, 50th Ballard Street. We're here having the Smash tournament today. This is a completely new venue, and you can totally come on by, check it. and, you know, have some fun, play some video games, and win some prizes.
Well, the action just on the other side of this breakdown. I feel like that break was actually longer than the game that we just saw.
I
13
agree.
to 1 for BBG, and I mean, it was just 13 to 1 for Bang. It felt like.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what it felt like.
So the last time that we watched one of these little replays, we joked that it might just be like an Elysium highlight reel, but TSMX ended up having some like nice shots in there too. My joke this time is that this is just going to be a Bang highlight reel.
Yeah.
However, we're also doing a good job of bringing up some places where it wasn't all just Bang. Will with some nice operator shots, Poach getting some stuff, Rocker getting some action, but that one round with the trigger discipline on Bang just like moved his mouse around like, I can't believe that they're not turning to look in this corner.
Yeah,
They're really
yeah.
not going to turn to look in this corner? All right. And just took him down, and that kind of spells exactly how that whole last game ended up going. Absolutely dominating for the side of BBG.
Yeah, very dominating. Bang just playing his own version of Aim Lab out there, clicking heads, taking names. Now one map ahead are BBG. Again, the winner of this one have secured their spot in the round of 32 in the playoffs. They're going to be hanging out. The loser, just as we saw for TSMX earlier in the day, they're going to be playing the lower rounds tomorrow. So the loser of this one will have some time before having to play again. The problem is, obviously, I guess the loser for this one as well is going to be one round ahead. So you only have to win that next one. It's win 2 before you lose 2, GSL format. The problem is we move on over to Split, which is where Built by Gamers wanted to take this one. I've always kind of had this thought in my head, and I've probably said it aloud too many times, but I believe that if you can play Icebox, you can play Split. Typically, the teams that we see do fairly well on Icebox can also do well on Split because of the high-lows, the corners, the compositions are fairly the same. We get a bit more of the Astra Viper versus the, Sage Viper or whatever it was previously on Icebox. Now that we head to Split, I think Elysium still have a solid chance in this one, but I think BBG, more importantly, again, Bang, just riding that momentum. It's so hard. How many times I could count? I guess it would take all of my hands and toes, or all my fingers and toes, because that would be a weird number, hands and toes. To count the amount of times where I'm playing a game and there's just a Reyna running into my spawn. I could be perfect crosshair placement, doesn't matter. The dude is just absolutely cracked, and that's where it feels like Bang is. That there's really no answer to it. We saw Charisma find a kill. I think one of the only kills onto Bang before he actually found something. It was the one round where Bang didn't get any value. And that was 1 out of 14 rounds that we saw. So coming into Split, I think we quite possibly see the same exact thing. It's a map where we sometimes do still see that Reyna come out. I would imagine maybe they want to flex back onto that Raze because you do get a bit more out of it on Split. But this is a very scary spot for Elysium to be in.
Yeah, indeed, very scary. It'll be interesting to see if maybe that is reflected in some of their agent picks, if they're going to pick maybe a little more defense sided, or if they're going to try and stay to some more tried and true kind of picks. I'm very interested. Of course, you mentioned the Astra. I think that Astra is absolutely huge on this map. And if you have a good Astra, you can stave off a lot of an offensive attack. And based on how we just saw BBG play that last game, having an agent that's really able to slow down how BBG just takes the pace of this game and moves it to 100 miles an hour. If you can just have something that's going to slow that down, stop it, so that you have time to do your own setup and react to what BBG is doing, I think that that's how Elysium is going to be able to take some command back in this game.
It's almost kind of the inverse of what we've seen from Elysium. We were talking about TSMX needing to do that same thing and kind of try and steal away. Now it's Elysium. We need to be a bit more on the aggro or on the extreme of certain things, and we'll see if they are able to do that, as it seems like we are getting ready to queue up this agent select. We're jumping on in, and there it is. Link already locking in that Astra, so we get it there. It's Bang actually on the Astra. I thought there was a world where Bang would actually play the Sage moving on over to Split. So no longer on that duelist. It's going to be Will assuming that position on the Raze, no longer on the Jet. which is, you know, something that we do see here on Split. I think one of the things that stands out the most is Elysium. They're getting a little fancy with it. Instead of rocking that Sky, it looks like they want to bring in that KO, which has received some buffs, does get a bit more value, and you're punished a little less when you pop that no command and then run in and get headshot immediately, because you are still getting those pulses. So I like the KO pick. I'm excited to see what Elysium have cooked up with it.
Yeah, and even with that, the Breach pick, I think that it's just a little interesting. Breach is one of those other characters that does see some play on Split, but still not as much as a lot of other agents on other maps. So interesting to see that come out here, especially with the KO. I feel like they have a little bit of overlap, but when you're not picking up the Sky, having another set of flashes is also very good, especially when your duelist is something like the Raze that is all damage utility and not a lot of utility, whatever.
It works.
I do like as well this Killjoy pick. It's kind of traded out for the side of BBG with this Cypher. They do similar jobs, but I feel like Cypher is the better one if you plan to expect people to do a lot of rotating. You aren't as bound to staying towards where a lot of your utility is. So I typically on a map like this think that the Cypher is the stronger pick as well, but we'll see exactly where that goes. I know Charisma finds a lot of comfort in this Killjoy and a lot of success with it as well, so we'll see if that shows off in this match.
And Elysium actually not running. They're running that double initiator into the Breach and the KO, which means they don't have that double controller Astra Viper. So we'll see how strong Link can be, just being the sole controller here on this map. Will tosses out the Boombot. The Roomba gonna go clean things up inside of vents and quite possibly get a bit of information, or do like all Roombas do and get stuck in a corner somewhere and just beep incredibly loud. So it does seem to be the case. No value garnered. It looks like BBG now setting their eyes out towards the A side, and we're seeing these tripwires, right? Bjor's been holding this down the entire time. I believe that camera was taken care of nice and early, but he knows that nobody's postured up close. The paint shells look to clear out heaven on the site, though. Aros and friends, and by friends, I mean the turret's just on the opposite side. There's one, make it two for the side of Elysium as that spike falls down. Now needs to be retrieved as the fault line proves to be too strong, splits the team, but Bjor gonna hop his way into the kill feed. Flashpoint on the opposite side. Poach gives away his position with a shot from the side as Bjor is there to back him up. It's Link to trade it back. The health bars are low, and now they're 0 on the side of BBG as Elysium secure the pistol.
All right. Actually, I liked Charisma doing the swarm grenade under that heaven side on this A site, because that's such a common place for people to just like, okay, I'm on the site, I'm going to hold this angle, and this is like a great spot to hide for the retake. So I liked expecting somebody to go there and having the utility there and ready, and it really did kind of push Will out of there and force Will to play more just like on the middle of the site, where they were able to take advantage of that. So I loved that utility. I kind of maybe talked a little smack on the Killjoy, but Charisma showing there's a reason that I play this Killjoy, and there's a reason that I'm comfortable with it.
It definitely strengths and weaknesses to run either or, and like you highlighted, there's the strengths for Charisma. Poach playing just on the opposite angle. Obviously, the weapon advantage in favor of Elysium coming into this round after losing the pistol. BBG in a tight spot in terms of economy, in terms of credits. They're going to have to save up to buy something nice, whereas Link's already got himself a nice Christmas gift in the Blast Deck Spectre. Nice grapple, going to keep the squad at bay for now, but at the very least, you're kind of just running down some of that Astra utility, right? You call out that grapple already. That's 20 seconds on that one. If you're looking to recall some stars because you think they want to hit this B site, and you're also waiting some time to get those down. As we go 1 for 1, Nazi falls. Nice sheriff shots coming out from Bjor. And Rarkar gonna grab a weapon. Aros queues up the fault line, but unfortunately doesn't have the re-equip. The weapon not in hand, and Link rotating over. Rarkar picks up a weapon, and the return on investment is just so plentiful as Thig is finally able to steal one back. Numbers advantage, Charisma on the lurk. Bjor trying to find the shots, will eventually do so. Sentinel v Sentinel, and it's Bjor out on top. Now, unfortunately, we're stuck in a very tough spot here for Thig. As the guiding light reveals his position. Got a few players to worry about. The healthiest being Poached just around to the corner. Rarkar not yet on the push. There's the dink, but it's not enough, and a thrifty round for BBG to get back in it.
I'm I'm having flashbacks. That is exactly how it went on Icebox. Elysium took the first pistol round. BBG able to make like this kind of slow push in a certain well, they were on defense the first time, but they still played it really slow. They held their angles. They did the same thing even on attack this time, and were able to just take advantage of their worst weaponry and got a thrifty in the second round. And it's going to really shake up the credits for the side of Elysium as well. Now with them 3 Spectres in hand, 2 Phantoms. I feel like that's actually better than what it ended up in that first round on Icebox.
Yeah, and again, so starting on defense, BBG, they opted into, I guess, buying a bit more, or forcing a bit more in this next round. In round 4, Will, unfortunately, going to fall there. Rarkar's there to trade it out, so no harm, no foul, and a 1-for-1 trade. Stig goes down, hopes to secure that one. Link comes flying around the corner and is immediately clotheslined by Bang. His counterpart, the other Astra on the map. Now Kairos, classic in hand, can only hope to do some damage. For somebody have to buy shields coming into the next round, but this bonus, I would imagine we do see BBG kind of hang on to these credits, right? They're going to hang on to what they have. They only need to buy one more. And instead of, like we saw previously, buying the operator after winning that anti-eco, I think we see, I guess I'm going to repeat myself, but I think we see more of a bonus coming into this round. I think they hang on to those Spectres.
Yeah.
You can see Will obviously needs to buy something, but with 7,100 credits in your back pocket, anybody can buy for the raise. And there it is. So this is a really solid round for BBG to the full buy of Elysium. But even if Elysium win this round, you got to hope that you take 0 damage because the economy is just in the gutter.
Yeah, Rarkar must be feeling himself too, ditching that Spectre to purchase up a Phantom despite having that for 2 rounds. So spending a little money, but hopefully going to be able to put it to good use as Rarkar is now playing the Baby Duelist Sky in this round. A stark difference from the Killjoy that we saw him pick up in the last map. Roomba, not seeing anybody, and it looks like this is going to be a good push through mid for the side of BBG, with the last 2 members kind of far and wide. TS and Bang, the one with the bomb going down at the entry to garage here.
Yeah, fortunately, it's not too bad of a spot to lose that spike. It does sting to lose not only your smokes, or not only a player, but one of your smokes. Coach, the next of your controllers is going to fall as well. Link securing that kill. Damage has been dealt, though. On the opposite side, Kairos in a really tough spot. Charisma in an even tougher spot in a 1v2. The high-low, but he's able to find the frags, no less. Now Rarkar has a lot to get done. The one in a tough spot, and it's Charisma to frag out on the round and tie us up once more.
Oh, Charisma doing God's work for Elysium and breaking the curse. At least we have 2 rounds, and BBG is not going to spend the next 12 going from 0 to 60.
Yeah, now we do have to call back, right, to what that round was for BBG. A minor bonus round. They had, I believe, a couple of Spectres, at the very least 1 Spectre coming into that round. So because of their economy flourishing, they're able to buy into this next. Fortunately for Elysium, they didn't lose too many players. I think they lost 2 on the round in itself. So they're able to buy up and be healthy in terms of their economy coming into this round, and quite possibly the next. The tie ball game, and Elysium have already doubled their rounds as Bang grabs quite a bit of damage onto Thig, forcing that KO to back up, and that KO is going to have to play far off the site should you want to get some value. And Will going to receive kind of that same punishment. 1 HP, fortunately, with the Sky on your team. That regrowth, going to get that raise nice and topped off. Armorless now will be Will, but 100 HP allows them to fight a bit better than that counterpart in Thig, who's still sitting on that 10 HP.
Yeah, Thig kind of just holding an angle now, trying to get the jump on somebody if they make this push onto B-side as a result of that lack of HP. Rarkar and Bang getting a little cut off by some paint shells, but making some quick pullbacks. We'll see if we decide to go into Astral Form to play some stars, or if we just make this aggressive push onto B-side heaven.
Yeah, I mean, Thig is just playing with fire on the ropes with 10 HPs. Rarkar's going to find Nazi. Might be enough to force the KO back. Nice frag. 25 seconds left on the round, and we finally get a kill as Big will eventually fall. Rarkar to find his next in Link in the B site. Cracked wide open with 15 seconds on the clock. Bing finally going to get that spike planted and put BBG in a winning position. A 2v5, a lockdown available for Charisma should they want to use it. They've got some credits in their back pocket, and I think at the very least, damage mitigation. We're trying to keep the team here for BBG on the site to allow that spike to blow and strip away some of those weapons might be the call for Charisma as he hangs out for just a second. Kairos has since fallen by the wayside, and there's just no time to find the ace and find the defuse. So Charisma playing containment, trying to keep BBG at bay. Will is quite honestly the best target to find if you are looking to find those kills. A shieldless race as Rarkar comes on through. Finally, the reign of terror will end. No 3K for you, says Charisma, as he beats feet to try and get away. The turret can give the information that Poach is here, and Charisma wants the smoke. Unfortunately, Poach is a smoke demon. He won't give away that kill.
Wants the smoke, got the smoke, being taken down there. BBG gonna pull ahead, getting a round back there, bringing them 3-2. Still just starting off this map, but also immediately being relegated back to these pistols, back to this save round to try and get to a situation where they can buy up and start to fight back. And then another round for Elysium, a Spectre, the biggest gun purchased for that side of the map.
Ooh, finally Elysium put some aggression out towards A main, but Bjor's been there for the entirety of this map so far, all 5 rounds. And well, with the neural theft online, the information garnered for the squad here in BBG is they in a tough spot. Will eventually fall as well, just continues to push onto the side. It's Bjor for 1, it's Will for 3, and Charisma again in a tough spot, needing to play damage control, damage mitigation, and just around the corner flings the killjoy. BBG go flawless, growing their lead to 2.
I mean, at least this game, last game felt like it was the Bang show. You were just watching Bang completely push onto sites, get kills left and right. At least in this game, we're getting to see a huge range of people really do really well. I mean, for the side of Elysium as well, because they're just staying alive longer. And now going into this round, every member of Elysium has full guns, has full armor, and have their ultimates ready and available to them. So this is the round where I think we're going to see a little bit of a pushback.
Yeah, all 5 ults online for Elysium. And they all work so well in slowing down this BBG attack. And, well, here it comes. Nice grab well. Nazi can find 1, but a grab well in response will pull that raise right back on into heaven, and the vulnerability will keep him at bay as Link will find another. It's Bjor to die out towards that A site, trying to slowly creep on up, play that fucking rat roll that the Cypher plays so well, unfortunately punished for it. And I mean, the utility usage has just been so huge, and we talked about 5 ults online. They've only needed 1 thus far, Becky.
Only 1, but any amount that you can use to pull yourselves ahead and then kind of hold off until you need to use another one, I think is the correct way to be doing this. Elysium needs to be careful with their resources after we saw what happened in the first game. But Will, just casually strolling through vents, peeks up, finds somebody, I'll go rejoin my team. I needed to do that for me.
Will was on the ropes, man. I don't know how that kill was possible. Now he's looking for more. He's got the ult online, up close and personal is Charisma. They are able to trade it back and forth, but a 2v2 is where we find ourselves. Here comes the rolling thunder. Fault line to land as well. They need to try and find this Viper. They will, but it doesn't matter. Stunned up, no matter for BBG as they close out the round.
That's a little rough. Okay, so we did see at least 2 ultimates get used for the side of Elysium there, I believe, and 3 still remain. So we can still kind of fight back. You used 2, and BBG used 2, and every time that you both have used equal resources, BBG has come out on top, and that's continuing to stay the same. So now it will be interesting to see if they decide to use any utility for this kind of thrifty round, or if they decide to save up and save the ultimates as well for the next round. It's interesting to me that Bjor has continued, even whether the team is there or not, just plays this A long side. And last round got kind of punished for it. But as a result of that last round's punish and push forward by Link, we do see that all of the members of BBG are going onto this A site, waiting a moment to see if anyone pushes up. Once they don't, they start to push in themselves and bang with a nice two-piece to entry for the side of BBG.
Yeah, let's survive for Elysium, so a tough spot. I think in that last round, Bjor was feeling a bit too confident in his abilities to play that lurk game. I'm pretty sure he died with both cyber cages still unactivated. So he tossed them down but never used them. Then kind of dry peeks up to main, and Link wasn't having that. So this one obviously a bit more controlled. There's more firepower behind it in way of numbers and in way of arsenal. Kairos tried to do his darndest, could not be the judge, jury, and executioner. Will actually be the one to kind of calm the team down, slow us down. Is in fact the IGL for the squads who's going to call this timeout and try and figure out what's going on as things are falling in my house. I don't know how that just happened. There must be a ghost here. It's the timeout ghost. But yeah, so we'll see what Bjor can do, continuing on that lurk. Obviously, you know, you should use that utility when you're looking to cross or you're looking to swing, or else you're going to be, you know, having to answer to somebody's phantom.
Yeah, exactly.
And not the phantom in my house.
Yeah, are you okay, by the way?
Yeah, it was something fell off my mini fridge, which I have no clue how. It was just a flat piece of plastic just fell off.
Oh, okay. You definitely do have a ghost, and hopefully you make it through the rest of the stream and it doesn't come out for blood. Hopefully that's not the case, but K-Rose is going to take a moment to help bring Elysium back to a center here. Probably just trying to decide on this defensive side exactly where exactly your agents and which utilities should be being used where, since we are on this single duelist composition and that one duelist is able to dish out a lot of damage, deciding where exactly that damage and that utility ends up being used is extremely pivotal. And as a result, we do see a little bit of a change up here in where each of these agents are placed now, with the Breach and Raze kind of sitting in mid, as we've been pushed on in mid a lot of times, and Elysium is now saying, okay, this is where we draw the line.
Yeah, aggressive out towards mid, not wanting to give up too much. This Breach and a Raze combo. Typically you see the flash and the paint shells to follow. In utility usage. Cosmic Divide out towards B side. The Seekers as well, and BBG trying to sell this fake the best they can. Unfortunately for them, for Elysium, they're still on the opposite side of the map. And with that, Nazi is pushed so far forward, just keeping them corded, knows that they want to rotate out, finds the first, needs to find the next. Quite a bit of damage onto Rarkar. He's forced to back away. Charisma eventually goes down out towards the A site, but a 1-for-1 trade. And it was Charisma to actually sniff out that this was a fake. Was still close enough for that utility to still be online. Unfortunately, the utility doesn't matter because the rifle game is just so strong for BBG. They continue to find kills across the map. Now they're able to make safe passage to back up the teammates that are out towards the A site for Elysium. The 2v4 situation, 0 point tossed out. Nothing garnered there. Bjor close inside elbow. And, well, a close swing there from Bang. From downtown, Rarkar picks up one. And BBG, they sell the fake, do a pretty good job doing it. They plant on the A site and they secure the round.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, just trying to change up how Elysium is using their utility to really slow down some of these pushes from the side of BBG. And it seemed like Elysium almost kind of anticipated how that was going to go. They were changing up their utility. They were changing up where they were putting all of their agents. And as a result, they just didn't go mid at all. That's one of the first times that we've seen a BBG just not commit themselves towards mid at all. Kind of just sniffing out exactly what the plan of rebuttal is from Elysium and making sure that they're not able to do it.
Will in a really tough spot. There's nowhere to go. Nice grab well off the back end of the alarm bot. A good bit of util usage off of what Charisma had placed down. At the end of the day, though, it is a 1-for-1 trade up towards A heaven. The rest of BBG gonna back away, but again, they're just wanting to sell this fake. That spike's on the opposite side of the map. They've done a pretty good job in buying the rotation, but you see that the cogs are turning. Elysium, they're privy to this. They understand what BBG are looking to do in these last couple of rounds, and they've still got a player out towards this B site. Charisma was also flirting with the idea of rotating over. Now that all this time has passed, you have to assume that quite possibly this rotation over towards the B site has already happened. Charisma, double take out towards screens for a second, expecting maybe somebody pushed through the spawn. That's not going to be the case, as it looks like Link maybe gives up the site here as they look to play the 3v4 retake. But 3 ultimates online. This is Elysium's round to win in using everything that they have available to them.
Oh, I like how Link has played this so far, but Poach is the one hanging out in the mid, waiting for that rotation. Did a great job of baiting towards that A site, and then just managed to get there towards that mid as the rotation was finally dedicated to, and just beautifully done from those last 2 members of BBG there. It's great now in this game that we're getting to see every single one of the members of BBG. Bang doesn't even look like the same player. Bang is at the bottom of the leaderboard, which if you'd have asked me where I thought Bang was going to be on the leaderboard after that last game, I'd have said top, maybe second, I don't know, but definitely not bottom with 6 and 5. Rockart Poach, Will Bjorn doing a great job of pulling up any slack. And this game seems to be a lot more, we're showing how we're better at using our utility and using our agents than our opponents, as opposed to we're just going to let Bang frag out.
Yeah, the utility usage, I want to say the utility usage on both sides has been pretty incredible. This game started obviously strong for Elysium, but then BBG steal it back. And I think a lot of that has to just kind of do with, or a lot of what we're seeing is just based off of that momentum that BBG just continue to find. Anytime Elysium, want to get their foot through the door, they can't. They're met by the doorstop on the opposite side. And well, this round is another good peek at that. It's not Bjorn lurking out towards A. Instead, it's Poach. He finds that kill onto K-Roast, and that's one of your 4 ultimates that were online. You no longer have that rolling thunder. We'll see what the lockdown, the Cosmic Divide, and the Null Command can get done to try and secure another round. 2 rounds left in the half. 8-4 is all Elysium can hope for. And we'll see if this is the round where they choose to use those ultimates to try and secure the win.
Yeah, it seems a little bit scary to try and use those when you're already down a player, but sometimes if you're down a player, you have to compensate a little bit, and going for something like using those ultimates could be a good pick. Nazi and these KO just chilling, waiting to greet Bjorn as he comes up from that rope, trying to keep as much control over this map as possible, but Will with a nice peek out there to take down Link.
Yeah, the crosshair placement just wasn't there. Guiding Light, no re-equip. You're seeing the nerfs to Sky. Proved to be a bit troublesome as Charisma was able to sit that Sky down. And now, unfortunately, it's all up to Nazi as Thig gets finished off. No Fortnite Resurrection available. 1v3. Spike is taking 2 members very low as Bang just playing the jump peek out towards elbow. Is able to spot 1. Here comes the cross. Poach will fall, but Bang is there to clean it up. BBG. They secure their 9th, and in that round for Elysium, a heads up, a huge 0 point to spot out 3 players up inside of A Heaven. It also cut Bjorn's utility off because he got suppressed. It allowed them to creep up a little bit and find that kill on the ropes. Maybe they find that kill either way. It's just unfortunate that round didn't go their way, and I think you're looking at a pretty glaring issue in what Thig has been able to do in this. 1-11-2. Hasn't really been able to get going on the KO. Hopefully the attacking side brings a bit more. But as for this last round of the half, it's a couple of rifles, a Bulldog, and a Judge. And I guess the Bulldog is still a rifle. But, I mean, in what world are we comparing that one to the Phantom and the Vandal? So a tough spot to be in. But the 9-3 curse is still on the table.
Still on the table. And what Elysium are hoping and praying for. 4 of their members hanging out towards this B site, and it looks like Poach is going to go for another play, continuing to try and bait members of Elysium towards this A site. They've done it so many rounds in a row now, but going to continue to try to go for it. Gravity Well going to stop Will from using this rocket too quickly here. And then Cosmic Divide going to cause a little bit of a difficulty to see it, so Link gets taken out there. That's a beautiful combo, actually. If you know where somebody is, just Cosmic Divide. You can't see me, you can't hear me blast back forward. Here's a rocket.
Yeah, right through the wall. Unfortunately, it only stops bullets, not the utility. As a Cosmic Divide in response now, a little bit deeper. Out on the B side, it's going to allow for free passage and a free spike plant. But 1-for-1 across the map. It's Charisma was able to pick up one. There's utility toss on the other side. The rocket as well. And Nazi's actually able to steal one back. So the numbers in favor of Elysium. The health in favor of all the players as well. The lockdown comes on through. We finally see those ults come online. Fault line goes down. So does Rawcar, but not before finding one in a 2v2. Make it a 2v1 situation. The lockdown will slowly tick off. The paint shell is already used. Nobody detained, but both pushed away towards main. Bang. Just around the corner. Shots land for one. Will, though, picks up 4 on the round. And BBG do it again. They secure double digits in the first half.
All right. I love getting to see this side of Will. Will kind of a little overshadowed that last game, maybe. So getting to see exactly what Will is in this default duelist role for BBG, really getting to shine this game, especially in that last round, getting a nice 4K there, using the rocket, using some gunplay, using a lot of utility. And that's something that I love to see from something like this Raze. Really, especially at like a higher echelon of Valorant play, really getting to see how people use the blast packs and are able to get into these kind of funny situations, use it to reposition and use it to be aggressive, and really kind of just in the most beautiful ways when you get to see it go off well.
Now here it is for Elysium. Pistol round. One of the most important. Obviously, life still on the line here in the tournament should they lose this matchup. But being able to secure your spot in the round of 32 and hang out for a couple of days feels nice. Nazi gonna find one, but Bang and Rawcar are there to trade it back. 2 for 2 here in the pistol round out towards mid as things get a little bloody, things get a little shaky, and Bjor gonna add some more salt to the wound as K-Rose falls. Bang low on health on the side of BBG, so they could make quick work of the Astra and even the odds. But for now, it's Link, who's made his way all the way up through the A site. Didn't get a full clear on the site. I don't believe he went and cleared. But with the information garnered, that Viper utility used, and, well, Bjor playing the position that he's in. Now he's spotted out, and they know that the A site's clear. They need to find the frags in order to clear it completely. As the camera taken down, the cage goes up. Charisma goes through. The sound cue is there, and with the spike in hand, at the very least, Charisma can look to secure the plant. And even with that fake, Bjor playing it perfectly, not wanting to get in too deep. Now they know it's a fake to do. They know that the angle is here. The shots will land onto Bang. He was low. He will go. But Bjor will close it out. The pistol to BBG, and quite possibly this series. We're only a couple of rounds away.
Yeah, 1 round away from match point for the side of BBG. The spread of kills for the side of BBG also way more spread out than last game. Instead of being an extremely top-heavy match, we're getting to see exactly how it is shaking up. See every single one of these agents have the utility used to the best of their advantage. Interesting buy for the side of Elysium here. A little bit of a force to try and, I guess, find some balance, find some steady feet, and try to stay in this when you're 1 round away from match point. It's a gutsy play, but if it works, it could go in their favor.
Yep, playing for the win rather than playing for the overtime. It's a tough way to get started, though. Nazi taken down by Rawcar out towards mid. Trailblazer looking for a bit more information. Not going to get too much in Bang. Playing the close angle. Nice flash point. Oh, no, but K-Rose flashes himself to grab well. Not going to find a Link. So instead, a Link will trade that kill. A 1 for 1 out towards B main, but because of what Nazi did to kick things off, the numbers in favor of BBG. As Charisma hops into the kill feed, making it 2 on the round. The Sheriff starting to go to work, needs to find some more. The odds are even, but only for a moment. Now it's Charisma to get it all done. We highlighted this player at the start of things. Not only needs to find a couple more kills, he needs to grab that spike as well. The Sheriff shots go wide. The Spectre in hand. It makes you think maybe should have gone for the spray down there. But with the position known of the Killjoy in only 30 seconds, I mean, this would take a miracle here for Charisma.
This is going to be an uphill battle, to say the least, but especially with no utility, 50 HP, Charisma is going to have some lucky shots to be able to take this one down, but continuing to play it slow, hoping maybe somebody will come peek me. Don't really have time to go around that way, so we're just going to commit to this. If it goes well, it goes well, but, you know, we all were sitting there. We all were saying it. That was a hard situation for Charisma to clutch from.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a world where if he doesn't have to double take on that spike, he sneaks away, but then he has 9 seconds maybe to get that spike planted and 2 players running him down. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, just a really tough spot. You see though that Charisma, when I was taking a peek back at the feeds and doing my research on Elysium, Charisma is a character, or a player I should say rather, that is so incredibly consistent in just the KDA and the impact that he has on his team throughout each and every game. And you're seeing it here, top in the leaderboards, just about going even, I think 12 and 13. So almost has gotten his every round, and in series previous, doing more than what was asked of the Killjoy. Now, unfortunately, things going a bit sour as Elysium on their last leg. They look to take a quick out towards B main, but Bjor has nothing to say as he only picks up 1. Link is there to answer back, but 8 HP is just not enough as Rarkar runs him down. And Elysium, they get a bit further here on Split, but it's still not enough. A dominant showing for BBG, who secure their spot in the round of 32.
Oh, that entire series was 26-3 across Icebox and Split. An absolutely cutthroat, aggressive, dominating performance from the side of BBG. Getting to watch a little bit of these highlights here from this match. It is just a lot. It's Charisma getting some nice little trade backs, and then it's a lot of BBG just getting these sweet kills that led to a swift victory.
Yeah, very swift victory. And BBG, so BBG has been a team kind of since the beginning that felt like a gatekeeper squad, where they were able to find their upsets, but they weren't really able to string together large victories. And they were a team where somebody up and coming would really have to take BBG down, but BBG does stuff like this. So they're kind of in a really weird spot. I think Bang was a really strong addition. Obviously, there's some work to be done, and I don't know if he's actually trialing for the team or just filling in. But this is a great way to get started, and a really strong showing from BBG. You get to take a day off, right? Because tomorrow we're covering the lowers in the GSL, so the teams that lost today will be picking up with them. I'm not too sure if we're staying in that same bracket or where we're headed as a whole. But BBG, they get to take a couple of days off, go back and look at some film, see what they can fix. I think their icebox is looking pretty darn strong. Anybody should be afraid of that one. I'm really excited to see this BBG team that was always so close, again, to crossing that finish line and would just get knocked down a peg every single time. This is a really strong showing from them. It's one of those things where you're playing a team, you know, looking at the two names, BBG should win, right? And so not only do they do that, but in the fashion that they did it, it's just like, okay, yeah, we expect BBG to win, and they did it in a stomp. I think that speaks very well for the squad. Yeah,
and especially after watching the performance from, mostly in the first game, watching the performance from Bang, great inclusion. But then even on that second map, it was still a pretty similar score line. The 13-2 is only slightly different from a 13-1. So, but the difference in how the kills were spread out in that second game, and really just getting to see all of the other members of BBG really show what their strengths were, and where maybe their players who've played together for longer and played probably on Split more because it's just more popular of a map, and seeing exactly how that led to the utility, the way that they played, the way that they had strategies ready for that map, and just beautifully play out in that second game. BBG took it crushingly in a 2-0.
Yeah, it feels good again for BBG. Congrats to them. They've got a day off, whereas the action for us here on the B stream does come to a halt for today. We're going to be looking to pick right back up, same place, same time tomorrow. We'll be following that lower bracket of the GSL. So the teams that lost today, they try their hand tomorrow, and we'll see who gets knocked out, who gets sent home. As for Elysium, they still have another chance. They're going to be waiting in that round 2 of the lowers. Now, before we do go, I do want to, again, give a shout at what is happening here. This has been for day 1 of the VALORANT Elite Showdown presented by Community Gaming. Their first event partnered with Riot, but they're doing so much more on the outside. And if you're here just to support a friend or a family member or something of the sort, if you watched Arcane and you're like, wow, I need to start playing Vi and Jinx and Echo and Heimerdinger and Jason, you're looking to get in the action, Community Gaming does that too. You guys can check out their website at communitygaming.io. They're hosting tournaments across the board. If you're a tournament organizer, you're taking a look at this one, you can even get involved yourselves. They have tools to help you set up your own tournament. And the best part about community gaming is they're looking to get these quick payouts, so you're not waiting too long to get that prize money that you're earning. You've seen it in the commercials where they're just handing out cash to the players right as they finish their matches. So please, please, please do go give some love to community gaming just for everything that they're putting on at community gaming on Twitter as well. As for Becky and I, obviously our ats are down below, Tanner_Metro, Becky Bear. We do have to say goodbye for today, but the action continues tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss it.